Welcome to the Next Dimension Podcast, your portal to an extended reality. Every week we talk about the hottest topics in XR and let you join the discussion live on MRTV. And now, get ready for another exciting episode coming up.
Hi and welcome to Season 2, Episode 19 of the Next Dimension Podcast, your podcast that's all about VR and in the future also AR. And I'm so looking forward to today's episode because we have two fantastic guests here. I would like to say hello to Thomas Vanderberg, who is the developer of Vermillion. Thomas, how are you doing?
Hi, yeah, I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, cool. I'm so looking forward to hear all about Vermillion and your launch on the Quest Store. Also here with me, Skeeva, the co-host of Between Realities and overall VR enthusiast. Skeeva, how are you doing?
I am fantastic. I'm stoked to be here again on the Next Dimension Podcast, one of my favorite shows. Thanks for having me, man.
Oh man, I'm so looking forward to talk with you. It has been quite a while, and you've just came home from GDC, so must have been quite an interesting show, right? How was it?
It was great. GDC to me is like Disney World.
Oh yeah,
it's everything that I care about all in one building. So fantastic.
Oh man, perfect. Yeah, right. And then it's in San Francisco,
mm-hmm.
right? And wow, I've been there too, and I loved it. And yeah. I need to come back to the States. I hope this whole, Omicron thing is going to go away and this whole Corona thing, as we all, right?
Yeah.
Normally I would go.
Down here.
Yeah, I know. Normally I would go, but the problem is if I catch it, then I'm stuck there in a hotel. You know?
Yeah, true.
This is the problem. Yeah, I wouldn't care if I get it, right? Lots of people have it, but I'm stuck there, and that would suck in this moment. Yeah, anyways.
It would. But you got to get down here. We got to get into some trouble together.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we will do that for sure. Yeah. I'm also here. My name is Sebastian, and I am the host of this show and the founder of MRTV. And I'm so looking forward to this show tonight. So for all of you who don't know the Next Dimension Podcast, this show is live every Saturday at 9 p.m. Berlin, 8 p.m. London. What time is it where you are, Skeeva?
It is 1 p.m.
In?
1 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yes. In where? In which? Which
Arizona.
State? Arizona. Okay,
yep.
Arizona. Perfect. Yeah. I'm a bit confused about the time zones because we have the summertime thing going on soon, so I don't know exactly what time it is in San Francisco and New York right now. Yeah, so we have 1 p.m. in Arizona. Good to know. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, so if you enjoy this podcast and if you listen to us like every Saturday and you want to say thank you, then you can do that. You can leave a thumbs up right now. You can leave a comment. And the best way to do that is to simply leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. So get out your iDevice if you have one, open the podcast app and find the Next Dimension Podcast, leave us a 5-star review and do leave us a few nice words. That would really help the show. All right, so today we're going to talk about some interesting topics. Obviously, we're going to talk about Vermillion since Thomas is here, the developer of Vermillion, and we're going to find out about his story, his developer story, how he came up with this, how everything, is going, all about the launch. And, I'm fascinated with Vermillion, so this is going to be pretty exciting, and I'm super excited to find out everything about it, Thomas. You will be grilled in a good way. As
I'm
you know.
here.
Yeah, perfect. This is going to be super interesting. We're going to talk about GDC, what you saw there, Skeeva. What kind of VR things you saw there? Did you see some VR things?
Saw lots of VR
Really?
things.
A lot?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
man.
man.
I talked to a lot of developers and saw some hardware and just had a good time. Hung out with everyone, shook some hands, and it was great.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's the cool thing about these shows, like meeting people in reality. I totally enjoy meeting you guys like this now, right, with the video thing. But meeting people in reality and being around them, having a beer together, it's still, it's so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
For sure.
Yeah, I'll be back.
So I have to say that even meeting in VR is like a decent sub level because I had an interview with Upload VR before the launch.
Nice.
And with Harry from Upload.
Cool.
And yeah, they have like this studio app, right? So just on the Quest 2 with hand tracking and with the avatars.
Yeah, I've seen the show.
Even though
cool.
he's like literally on the other side of the world, like he's in Australia, I'm here in the Netherlands, there was like zero latency and it just felt so real, you know. It felt really good, just like we're chatting. So
yes,
even with the cartoony avatars, like it's still already working. Just can't have beers together. That's like the only thing that's still missing.
Yeah, and it's going to be better and better. Just think about once face tracking is there, eye tracking is in every app. Wow. It is going to be cool. I totally agree. It's a good sub level. It's a good thing. But still, meeting in real, it has something. Oh, wow. Well, Skeeva, you're on all these cool exhibitions, man. It's amazing. Cool that you do that. Great that you do that.
I love it. It's so much fun. I want to go to all of them. I want to go to every single one, right? But it costs money, you know. So
you're right.
Got to kind of pick and choose, but
exactly.
You know, I want to go to every single one.
Yeah, that makes sense. And we'll get in trouble together. For sure.
Oh, yeah.
At one point in time, it's going to be fun. Yeah, cool. Also, of course, we are going to talk about the Pimax 12K QLED event that happened here yesterday on MRTV, where Kevin Henderson, the CEO of Pimax, for the first time showed off the Pimax 12K QLED in reality. Wow, that was cool. That was cool, right? And Skeeva, you watched it, right?
I did.
I
watched
the whole 3 hours, man. Thank you, man.
It was great.
Perfect. Yeah. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to tell Thomas all about it because he didn't watch it yet. But you're also interested in hardware. You told us before the show, right?
Yeah. And I'm also like a keen watcher of Pimax, so I'm very curious to hear all about it. Like, cool. I want to know.
Yeah, it is interesting. There's sometimes it's full of drama, which is also interesting, right? Sometimes they come up with cool stuff, and it's an interesting company to follow, to watch, because they do want to push the envelope, right, on VR.
That's the thing, yeah.
Like no other company.
Yeah.
If we think about it, like the others all play it safe. Yeah, they don't play it safe. They really, really don't play it safe at all. Yeah, they go crazy, and it's fun to watch it, and if it works, then it's really cool, and it's really some whole different kind of experience in VR. So that's a cool thing. That is a cool thing. So we are going to talk about it and reflect a bit on what we saw, Skeeva, and tell you, Thomas, all about it. And of course, we'll also see what the community has to say here in the chat. So hello, dear community. I'm looking at your comments, at your chat here. If you have any questions, simply ask them. This is a live show. So simply ask your questions. Cool. So this is going to be interesting. Before we go into the topics, what we always do is we talk about our weeks. What did we do? And I would like to start with Thomas. So, Thomas, how does the normal work week of a full-time VR developer look like?
So this was actually like the first week which wasn't super busy because everything is done and submitted, right?
Perfect.
This week I only had to be like sending out press keys to you guys and to everyone else. But before the launch, before it was done, like every week is like getting up early and just developing the whole day through, talking to the Discord community, giving support already for people on PCVR, sharing people's paintings on Twitter. And I mean, the preparation and getting everything done, like a lot of communication for instance, for making the trailer for the Quest release. I even had to set up my company. So I mean, it's
you're
like
right.
As an indie developer, like as a solo developer, is like wearing all of the hats at the same time, right?
Wow.
And mostly just being in Unity, developing, just squatting bugs, making new features. Like that's a bread and butter of it, but it's been like a really busy time. But this week specifically, I mean, it was pretty chill, and I needed some chill after like the crunch before the final deadline. So just sending out some keys, talking to people. This week was pretty chill.
Okay, so how long did you have to spend in this crunch time to make this whole thing work for the Quest launch that was this Thursday?
So I've been kind of in crunch mode for like a year, to be honest.
Oh no,
Well,
oh no, man.
Well, mostly because for almost the entire time that I was developing Vermillion, I was still doing my full-time job, right? So I was doing it before hours and after hours, and in the weekends and during holidays. So it always felt kind of like crunch mode. And now, yeah, even I quit my job last December, and yeah, since then it's just been working around the clock basically, because you keep moving the goalpost, right? So the first time I was talking to my developer relations manager from Facebook, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna port the current PC VR version to the Quest because people already like it, right? So I think, yeah, it'll be good enough. And then by the time I got it working on the Quest, I'm like, okay, it could be better. I could improve the graphics. And then I'm like, but maybe I need to improve the painting mechanics. And you keep moving the goalpost, and then every time you get done, you think like, okay, but I have a few more days before launch, right? And then you're like, okay, I need to fill those days with more features, like literally to the point that I was still doing new features on like the final day where I had to submit QA. I was like, okay, I still want to do this, and just looking at my Kanban board, right, and just like putting in more features.
Wow.
Okay, that was like a pretty insane crunch. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Wow, but what an exciting time, right? I mean, to know, okay, your app is going to be on the main store right now. I mean, it is the main store. Let's be honest about it, right? It is really the store where the most people could buy it. So it must feel super exciting. Yeah, we will talk about it later when we talk about Vermillion, when this is the main topic. But it sounds super exciting to me. And I also want to know, so what was your job before? We will also get more into your Vita, but just give us an idea. What did you do before you became the full-time dev?
So my last job was working at a company who were building dredging vessels. Actually, you remember when this huge ship got stuck in the canal? Like,
yeah,
what was
absolutely.
it called? The Ever Given got stuck, right?
Ever Given.
And then the ship which went to free it was built by the company where I worked.
Oh, really?
So, and I was there building prototypes for the HoloLens 2. So they're like the company was interested in, okay, how can we use AR going forward in the future, and they want to invest into it now. And they're like, okay, so let's just see what is possible. Can we have like on deck, on bridge of the ship, give the guys an AR headset instead of a bunch of screens? And yeah, so I even went out to see on a sea trial once with the HoloLens 2, and just looking at like, hey, how can we use this in dredging technology?
Wow,
so yeah,
that's interesting.
It was kind of interesting. And I had no idea about dredging before, and I mean, yeah,
I even don't know what it is.
It's a whole thing. It's like literally sucking up sand from the bottom of the sea.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's where it is. And yeah.
Cool.
I mean, but like using the HoloLens 2 was really interesting. Like it's a really interesting device, with of course technical limitations, which is also the main reason why it's not really going anywhere in the company right now. It was like also really tough to get buy-in from the people working with the device, because it's still limited, right? The technology isn't there yet. Like, as you would say, Sebastian, it's just not good enough.
Wow, you're watching my stuff. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, but like the field of view is limited, and it can't work at night, which is like the biggest limitation for this kind of work, because they work also 24/7, right? So
also outside, it's not really working very well outside, right?
Yeah, it depends on conditions. Like if it's too bright, it doesn't really work. And also, like, especially at sea, it doesn't work at all, because your horizon is moving, right? So the ship is waving about, and then the headset doesn't know what's going on. So the holograms are just dancing all over the place. It has no idea how to work at sea. So we kind of had to shelve the idea, and I was like, okay, I probably need to move full time, because my job might be in jeopardy.
All right, that makes sense. Well, I'm really looking forward to find out more about your Vita and how everything came about with Vermillion. Sounds like a really exciting story that you were able to go full time with it, and I love it. We're going to talk about this. So cool. Thanks, Thomas, for your week. And now I would like to hear about Skeeva. I mean, obviously, we're going to talk more about GDC in a moment. But yeah, how are you doing, man? What happened since we last spoke a long time ago?
Man, so much.
Oh, man, tell us a bit.
It's VR, VR is awesome. I live and breathe it constantly. That's all I want to do. So yeah, a lot's happened. This past week I was in GDC in beautiful San Francisco, California, and the week before I was at the Amusement Expo in Las Vegas, Nevada, for Vertigo games. And
perfect, man.
And yeah, we're doing stuff with Upload VR now.
Right. Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
Everything is working out so fine, so well, right?
Great.
Yeah,
can't complain at all. I love it.
Perfect, man. That sounds so good. And we were supposed to meet at CES, right? Oh man, but it didn't happen. Yeah, right. I couldn't fly.
We were, but it's good. It's honestly good you didn't come, right? Because we were talking earlier about going to these conventions and the possibility of getting COVID, and
right.
we all got COVID at CES. So
yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'm sure I would have gotten it too, and then I would be. Yeah, exactly. Right. I would have like putting out all the headsets. Every one of our VR community had it, right? So
for real. No. I mean, we had we threw a big party the last day of CES.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to go just because of your party, man.
It was epic. It was so good, but everyone got sick. So
no.
I mean, it is what it is. It was totally worth it for me. I would do it again in a minute. But it is what it is. So.
Okay. Yeah, then it's good that I didn't go. But probably this was the party of the year. But who knows?
It absolutely was. It was super.
Who knows what this year is going to bring? Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So, okay, you also went to this amusement show. I went to that same expo, but in Paris. They have it several times a year. They have it in Paris, and they also have it, there where you were in the States. And
cool.
When I was there, wow, I loved it because this is like an expo for amusement parks, basically, right? These kind of cool
family entertainment centers.
Yeah, exactly. All these arcade stuff, all these location-based stuff is there. And when I went, like I think 2 years ago, so much was VR already.
Yeah, there was
Same
so
now?
much. Yep.
Even more.
Dude, there was so much VR there. There was so much cool location-based arena scale stuff, and just all of these, like simulators and motion chairs and just really cool stuff. If I wasn't stuck in a booth the whole time, I mean, I would have been just like a little kid running around, just having a blast. It was so much fun.
Yeah, exactly. So. It makes so much sense. I mean, virtual reality in VR, in arcades, it's the best, right? Like location-based VR. I love it to walk around with the VR headset and like really be in those places.
It's so cool. There's so much happening in that space, and all of these people that own all of these facilities all want to implement VR. They're all kind of designating space for it, and it's a big deal. So I'm glad to see that that's happening, and that VR is starting to blow up on that front too.
Yeah, right. And I saw that the Void is coming back, right?
I just want to say the Void is coming back. Exactly. I love the Void.
You know more, right, Skeeva? You know more.
I know some things.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that there are things I can really talk about, but I would be. We'll see what happens. Let's be a little skeptical. Just saying.
You really? Okay. Wow. Let's see. Oh man, I loved the Void when it was still there. I did too. It's so good.
Yeah, I've never had to try a location-based VR thing. I haven't done it. Yeah.
Oh no.
So.
Yeah, but I think you will still have the chance in your lifetime. I have a good feeling for you.
It's coming back, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hope this whole COVID situation is gonna go away. It's just such a pain. So, anyways, So what did you do there for your job? I mean, you're working with Vertigo, right? I think
Vertigo
aren't they actually in Rotterdam or in Amsterdam?
We're in Rotterdam.
Oh, and Thomas is from Rotterdam. You see?
Yeah, I mean, like the studio is literally just down the road from here, right? So they're really close by. Yeah.
When I'm at the office, we're gonna hang out, Thomas. It's gonna be great.
That sounds like a plan.
that sounds amazing. I mean, for me, it's also not far away. If you come to Europe, tell me, please, Skeeva, yeah?
Oh, for sure, dude. You're not going to get away from me.
Okay, yeah, we get in trouble on all of the continents.
So Vertigo has, they're big into location-based VR, right? They have Vertigo arcades as well. And they purchased Springboard VR last year and are integrating all of the services together. And they're really doing some great things and doing fantastic things for location-based VR. They offer some of the best location-based VR experiences there is, period. I mean, really good things, customized versions of Arizona Sunshine where you have to actually walk through the environments and get on elevators and go across like treacherous terrain, and just do things with your friends, and you can see your friends there, and you can reach out and touch them, and you can do a lot of amazing things that you just can't do at home. But they offer all kinds of cool titles. And then there's the Springboard side, which is the management software that manages all of the arcade's VR machines and their software and the licensing between the developers and and the end users, scheduling, all of the things that make a VR arcade work. This software does, and it's super awesome, and super proud to be a part of Vertigo and Springboard and all that. So I went to Vegas to kind of represent location-based VR on behalf of Vertigo, and talk to family entertainment centers and amusement parks, and working to get VR out there as much as possible.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds so cool with the Springboard. So if I want to open a VR arcade, basically the only thing I need is this Springboard, right?
For real.
Right?
So
headsets, and that's it, right?
Yeah, I can't even imagine doing this without this software. I mean, it would just take so many more people to give your customers like a really good experience. But with this software, man, it just automates so much, and it just makes it so it's manageable all by one person instead of having a dozen people, right? If you're going to do location-based VR and you're going to open your own thing, you got to go with Springboard. There's just no other way.
So they are also the market leader, probably. So it's not hard.
They are. They definitely are, and for good reason.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Really. Okay, cool. Good to know. Yeah, so your week was also nice, getting around a lot and meeting lots of people again, eh?
It was great. Got to shake a lot of hands. GDC to me is very, very much like Disney World for me, because it's it's cool. All of the, if you had told me when I was a little kid that I would be able to walk around and meet all of the people making these games that I'm in love with, I'd have called you crazy, right? Like that's such a wild thing. I'm just so starstruck with all these developers, and just being able to shake their hands and give them feedback face to face on their games, and interview them, and it's just awesome. I couldn't be happier doing these things.
Perfect. Great to hear. Great to hear. Yeah, it's wonderful to work in that kind of line of work that we do. Great.
It really is. I'm so grateful.
Perfect. Yeah, cool. Great to know. Yeah, for me, what did I do? Well, I got really creative. Now you can do all these creative things. I did I composed some music in Virtuoso.
Ooh, nice.
Well, it's actually funny. You should watch my video. I make the new MRTV intro, and it's like MRTV, very, very good. It's hilarious. It's super hilarious, but it's fun. It's fun to give people tools. I would never come around like making music or trying to make music. It's not my thing. I'm not this artistic person, right? But to have the chance to just tip my toes into it and give it a try, I think it's beautiful, and I really enjoyed that. And even people, who never did that before, now they have the chance to do something like creating music. So I really liked Virtuoso. I really enjoyed it. Have you tried it, Thomas?
Actually, in general, I haven't played any VR games
other than yours
for the past 1.5 years. Literally just always developing.
Yeah, right.
So now it's on the store. I'll finally have the time to actually check out a couple of the games which I've been missing. The last thing I played was Alex, and I only got to the first chapter.
Oh no! It gets so good.
I haven't even finished Alex, right? So.
Oh no!
I mean, I have a serious backlog issue. Right
now. Thomas, I'm not sure if you can stay on the show now. Skeeva, what do you think? No, right?
That's developer.
You're out of here.
Yeah, you're out of here. Get out of here.
You guys get to play, right? And someone has to make it.
You're right.
Work.
It makes sense.
It's not happening by itself, man.
Yeah. I got it. So because it's okay. You created Vermillion, so you can stay here because this is awesome. So I understand. I totally get it. It's no time to really delve into playing these games because they can be long. But I would suggest you, if you have some free time, do it and play it because it's just really so good.
I know. I mean,
everybody's raving about it for a reason. It's really good. Do it. Yeah, give it another chance.
I mean, I've been dying to play it again. It's just
right.
Yeah.
Probably now you have a bit more time.
It shows my dedication.
It does. It does.
Yeah. Right. When you work in the field, it's one of the things, right, where sometimes you just don't have time to play because you're just working.
Yeah.
So
it's true. It's true. Yeah. Anyways, so I did that, and then I tried Vermillion. And Thomas, I must be honest with you. I didn't want to try it. I thought, okay, let me try it. I just thought it's not my thing to paint a picture, because I'm really just such an idiot in making art or in drawing. I cannot do it. It looks terrible. But then I was sitting there. And then I thought, okay, you know what? Now let me follow that tutorial. And actually, you, Thomas, you were telling me which stroke I had to do, because you made these amazing tutorials, right, on YouTube. And the great thing about Vermillion is you can have that browser next to your easel. Yeah, so you're sitting there, and the easel is in front of you, and then there's the browser window. And the great thing is there are tutorials. You just click, and then boom. Thomas is going to sit there in his virtual reality form, which I thought was cool. You had to make that somehow. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. And you're teaching people to make a Bob Ross picture. And I followed that. And I was so proud of myself. I couldn't believe what was going on there. Like, I really made some art. I'm going to show you later when we talk about it. Yeah, so really, this was basically my VR highlight of last week. Really, it was so cool. And I thought, okay, I need to invite now Thomas, and I'm glad you're here. Really, it really meant something to me. Like, wow. And I know, like, lots of people have the same feeling. So I think that with that, you cannot only create art, but the app itself is also a piece of art. Yeah, it's really amazing. Yeah, I'm going to rave about your app more. Wow.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good thing, right? It's good. Yeah, cool. So I really enjoyed it a lot. It was good. So this is what I did, and then obviously I was preparing the live stream, and yesterday's live stream, the Pimax 12K QLED event, and we're also going to talk about it at length in today's show. And I thought it went great. I really thought it went great. I didn't expect 3 hours, but then it went on for 3 hours. And then after the 3-hour stream, we even did another 1-hour session in Discord where Kevin answered questions from the community. It was wild. We're going to talk about it. Yeah. So that was cool. That was really, really cool. That was basically my week. Now we get into our topics. And let's start with talking about GDC. So I was also at GDC a couple of years back, and I enjoyed it because there was also even some hardware. At that time, it was Facebook was still called the company. And they were showing off the Rift S for the first time. That was pretty exciting. Wow. That was pretty exciting, yeah. And you could also play with the Oculus Quest 1, which I did there for the first time. And very exciting, very cool stuff. Yeah, so Skeeva, tell us, what were your highlights next to meeting people, meeting nice people? So what did you see in terms of virtual reality?
So I saw a lot of hardware as well.
No, really?
Great stuff. Yeah. So for the first time, I got to actually hold and put on the Lynx R1.
Tell us about it.
Got to meet Stan, right?
Perfect. And I know, very nice guy.
Oh, he's great, man. He's so great. He's so passionate about what he's doing.
Really nice guy.
And so smart. Incredibly smart.
Yeah. Stan, I hope you're watching this.
Yeah. So I really liked it, more than I even thought I was going to. The headset feels so light. I really felt like there was almost nothing on my head. And it's funny because we asked him what it weighed, and he said it weighs the same as the Quest 2, but the balancing is perfect.
Yeah, it feels much better.
The battery's at the back then, I guess, with the...
Yep. There's no battery on the front. It's just on the back. So, I mean, they balanced it absolutely perfectly, and it was amazing to put on. I could see myself wearing that headset easily all day.
Nice. Yeah, because the Quest 2 it's not a comfortable device to wear.
It's very front heavy.
It is front heavy. Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. And this was so small.
What's the distortion like with the lenses? Because it's like this very special lens, right? And I'm always thinking the sweet spot seems to be small, but what's it like to use?
I thought it was amazing. I mean, the lenses were so strange, right? When you look at them, you're like, how is this? It kind of breaks your brain a little bit. And they're split into like 4 sections, and I guess in software they kind of stick it all together. But they were great. We got to hold the lenses and out of the headset and really inspect them and get a good look at them, and they were incredible. They were really lightweight, and they were made of plastic, which I thought was wild. They're not even glass. So it was really cool. I put the headset on and I walked around with it, and it looked fantastic. I didn't see any distortion anywhere. The lenses were very clear and very nice. We started off in a VR application. So it's a VR AR application, but Stan didn't tell us that, right? He just put you in. There's the solar system, and you're kind of looking around, and there's the stars and everything going around.
This one, right? This one that I'm showing right now, right?
That's the one. Yep. Yeah. Yep. And then you kind of step out of the sphere, right? Out of where the stars are, and then you're in real life, and there's like full color HD pass through, just like that.
This is so cool, right? This moment is the kicker. When you get out of that star system, and then suddenly you see your surrounding. I love that. Yeah.
So what's the color balance like with the camera now? Because I heard it used to be like it still had to balance the colors for the camera. So what's it like now? Is it like
did they improve it? Good question. Yeah.
So I mean, it looked great, right? Anytime you have your eyes up against a screen that's showing the real life and virtual reality, it's there's going to be a little bit of pixelation. You're not like, oh, this is exact, but it was great. I mean, it looked fantastic, light years above the Quest 2, obviously being black and white and low definition, right? Way better than the Valve Index's color pass through. It just looked fantastic, and then to see the virtual objects in full HD clarity in the real world was just so killer. And then pair that with Ultra Leap hand tracking, which is the best hand tracking I've ever used. It was fantastic. I want this headset like right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, when I was trying it out in Paris, it was great as well. Totally agree with everything. The only thing that they didn't nail down yet was like the white balance. It was a bit confused sometimes with the light. So the light, the white balance, the color temperature would change a bit. Did you see that, or did they already improve?
I did not. Okay, it looked great.
Perfect. That's what they wanted to solve that. And when I was there, Stan told me, we're on it and we're going to solve it. Probably they have solved it now. Yeah.
They probably solved it, or it could be an environmental thing, right? It could be the lights where you were compared to the lights where I was. It was, I'm sure, a very different environment.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to get that headset home and kind of try it here. But it was great. It was one of my favorite things that I saw that day. The same day, I also tried. Like right after that, I tried the Lenovo Think, the A3 AR Think glasses.
Oh, I don't even know what is this.
So they are more of your standard type of augmented reality glasses, almost like the InReal glasses.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
A bit like that form factor where you see through them, like it's some sunglasses or something, right? And it's placing objects into the world. And I've tried all of these things, right? I've tried the HoloLens, I've tried the Magic Leap, I've tried, just everything that there is, pretty much. And I am very much fascinated by augmented reality. I think it's going to be the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, exactly. And, totally agreed.
Yeah. And most of the time when you try that style of augmented reality, it's not the best experience. Like the pass through on the Lynx is phenomenal, right? You get the full 110-degree field of view. You get really crisp, beautiful images placed into the real world. But the bad part about that is it's camera pass through. So there's a little bit of pixelation. It's not perfect. But with this other style of glasses, you're looking through glasses, and the real world is perfect, just like it normally would be. But then they place objects into the real world. And these glasses looked the best out of any AR headset I think I've ever seen.
Wow.
The images were beautiful. And what really, really surprised me was you couldn't see through the images that they were putting.
That is cool.
They were solid.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is it also coming with hand tracking as well, or is it just
No, that one did not have hand tracking. That one used the phone, so it would connect to a phone, and then it would use that as a controller, which was neat. And it also used gaze based selecting of things, right? Where you kind of look at something for a certain amount of time and it would enter that menu or click on the thing that you want to click on. But what really surprised me was these objects being solid, because I've never seen that in that type of AR before.
That is cool.
Yeah, it looked really, really good. And the headset was comfortable, worked great with my glasses, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was great. That was one of my highlights as well.
Wow, nice. But how about the FOV? Because normally these kind of headsets have a very small FOV.
This was the biggest one I've seen.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I didn't get the degrees, the field of view degrees, and I should have, and I'm bummed that I didn't. But it looked fantastic. There was obviously, there's always that square, right? You're seeing the AR through this little square, but this was a lot bigger.
It's really interesting, because I haven't heard at all, and like neither have you, Sebastian.
Yeah, I haven't heard
about this headset. Like we're all hearing about the new Magic Leap,
exactly,
the Magic Leap 2 coming up, but this it sounds like a really interesting display. It's just too bad it doesn't have hand tracking, right? Because that's like a big thing for a good AR experience, right? So like the HoloLens 2, being able to use your hands directly in the hologram is like essential for a good
and the HoloLens is a complete all-in-one unit with the compute unit instead of the headset, right? This is still phone-based, right? You still have to hook it up to a decent phone to be able to run these experiences, but we're getting there. What this showed me was we are getting closer all the time to the future that we envision with augmented reality, and this was great. I couldn't have been happier with this demo.
Nice. So. What do you think about AR, Thomas? Do you also think that's the future? What are your thoughts about pass-through AR, like done on the Lynx or the Cambria, or as opposed to that see-through AR like Skeeva has just talked about?
Yeah, I mean, so maybe starting with pass-through, I think the neat thing about it is for applications like Vermillion is that you can so easily switch between a virtual environment and real life, right? So there are occasions where you want to be like in reality, like either in a room with people with you or with like color pass-through. Like I would be super excited to get like the XR1, the Lynx, to test it with Vermillion, right? Because it might even be like a good fit for like painting outside, like a plein air painting, or even from like a model. Like it would be super interesting to try this use case. But then when you want to like get some privacy or just close yourself off, get some time off from the real world, bam, just in a virtual environment, and it's pixel perfect, because a thing you can never do with these see-through AR glasses is you can't have like shadows, like you can't have contact shadows, unless with maybe this magic new technology which Lenovo apparently has, where you have like this opaque thing, but normally you can't put black on glasses, right? It doesn't work like that, which does work in pass-through AR, and that's really cool, because like a thing in Vermillion, just like beneath the easel and like the other equipment you have, it's just like a shadow, like a contact shadow. But it works so well to sell the illusion that it's in your room, like even with the crappy Quest pass-through, right, the black and white, just having like the shadow there on the floor, like it really sells it. So I think like there's a definite benefit to having pass-through AR versus like see-through AR.
Yeah.
But see-through AR, like with the HoloLens, like it's of course like a whole nother level, right? Because you have your whole peripheral vision, which is like a huge thing. If you're ever going to use it like outside or professionally, like you need to have your whole vision, right? So I think that's something that alone is like a big selling point, and just being able to show your eyes to other people as well. I think that's also like something that they need to work on, right? Because if you're looking at someone right now wearing like a HoloLens, like you really see the image projected onto the waveguides, right? So like it's hard to see their eyes still, even though it's wearing glasses. But the more transparent it gets, like the more natural the interaction will be with someone wearing a headset. So that is also like a really big aspect. Like we'll only be able to use AR headsets if we can still interact naturally with other people, and we're getting that. So I also think that the potential for AR is big. Like it's really interesting, but it's still a struggle to find really compelling use cases for it at times. That was like something which always came back to me at my last job, right? Working with the HoloLens 2. It was like finding, okay, how do we actually add value with AR more than having a screen. Like, okay, we can have floating screens and you have more heads up time, right? So that's like a big selling point. Like, okay, you need to look less at the screen, but it was still like a real challenge to find something which is really like, okay, is it really worth it wearing these glasses versus having your phone or versus having a screen? So I think, and even for companies like Facebook, right, it's still a challenge to find like the really great selling points. And I think it's normal with a new technology like this that we have to find like the new way to really use it. But I mean, it is very interesting technology, no doubt about it.
Yeah, right. I'm sure once the tech is really there, once the glasses are smaller and better, bigger FOV and stuff, there will be the applications, right? I mean, I can still remember like before the iPad came out, people would think like, hey, what do I need that iPad for?
Why do we need a tablet? Yeah,
it's ridiculous. I have my phone. I have my laptop. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to use it. Now everyone has it. And lots of cool things for it, obviously, out there, right? So, and like Lars says, Pokemon. Are you kidding me? Pokemon Go. There it is. There's your use case. Go out and catch those Pokemon. So it's of course. We will be there in a couple of years and think back like wow. We had no idea what we could do with this, but now see we do everything with it. Mm-hmm. I think I really do believe in that kind of thing that it will at one point replace our phones, where we just do this. And
that's a big thing.
I do believe it.
Well, there's like one caveat always with this technology is it's all camera based, and there's like certain privacy concerns coupled with it because which companies are going to be making these headsets? We're looking at a company like Meta, a company which is very good at mining data from everything it sees.
This is their job.
This is their job, right? So this is always like the thing with this technology, like does the benefits it gives to our daily life outweigh the privacy sacrifices which we make with it? So it's like a decision we have to be conscious about, even though it's really cool tech.
You're right.
We still have to think about this.
You're right. You're so right, Thomas. But unfortunately, I must say, whenever something is like super convenient, we totally forget about it.
It always wins. Yep. Yeah.
Like I just say, okay, how about Alexa? What time is it? Come on. I mean, really, this is so funny that we put all these microphones in our homes, right? And they're directly connected to Amazon. And why should I trust Amazon more than Meta? Well, I do trust them a bit more than Meta, I must say. But in general, it's crazy, right? If it's super convenient, we just, I mean, most of the people forget about privacy.
That's true, yeah.
Right?
It's true.
Yeah, you're right.
That's true.
Unfortunately. Yeah. So you're right with that thought that, wow, we're all going to wear cameras all the time. It's going to be tough not to be caught by cameras later when you're outside, right?
Yeah, we have to look at the future too, right? Because right now, Amazon might be better with their privacy stuff than Meta, but that's only as long as that CEO's in power.
You're right.
And no one lives forever. So, someone could take over for Facebook one day that's even more sketchy than Mark Zuckerberg. And then what?
Yeah, it's so not so easy, but I totally agree with that. So, this is a huge issue. Oh, man. Yep. This is my topic, as you know.
Yeah, we need efficacy and privacy boards and all of those things for this technology as it's being built, so we can nip these things now instead of kind of worrying about them after there's major problems.
Exactly. So, what I was just thinking, okay, so at one point in time, everyone is going to be wearing these cameras on these glasses, right? Mm-hmm. It would be amazing if there was some kind of a privacy transmitter that I could wear, and it's emitting some signal, and all these glasses they have to receive that signal, and when they receive that signal, that person who's wearing that privacy transmitter is not being recorded.
Boom!
Wow! I'm going to be freaking rich. Here
you are.
Oh my god!
Sebastian, the multi-billionaire. You're talking
MRTV
right
billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
No, but really, isn't that a beautiful idea?
Yeah. That'd be great. Let's do that.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. Oh man. New business ideas being built here during the podcast. But honestly, I would totally wear that emitter because I don't want all these people to record me, but I also want that technology to go out. I also want to wear these glasses, but I would feel better if I knew, okay, if that person doesn't want to be caught on my camera, okay, it's not going to happen because he's wearing that privacy emitter. I like the idea.
I think this is a great idea. I think there's a lot of good ideas out there and things we could be doing, and we need to start looking into stuff like this before it's too late, right? Because once my first
customer. Sorry. Yeah, I have my first customer. D-Man is absolutely going to mine.
Time to start your Kickstarter right now.
You're right, exactly. Yeah, I even have the platform. Oh God, yeah. I'm going to think about a catchy name for that thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, let me know when pre-orders go live.
Yeah, I will. Something with cloak, privacy cloak, or an AR cloak, or anything. I'm gonna think about it.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, right. Yeah, cool. So AR. Yeah, Skeeva,
and there's more AR.
Tell us what else you saw.
So the other thing that really gave me one of the biggest wow factors was the Tilt 5 AR device.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm really curious about it.
I kind of thought that you would see it, and therefore I prepared this video.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
There we go.
Oh my God! Tell us really everything about it.
So
what is it?
There's pros and there's cons to this device, right?
Tell us what is it.
So you look at this board. There's a board. There's it's like a certain type of material. You can roll it up, right? But you spread it out on a table, and you put on some glasses, and then you look at the board, and the board comes to life, and it has depth. It kind of looks like there's a hole in the table, and there's a game going on inside of it.
That's so cool.
It's really, really neat. It's really cool, and the graphics are phenomenal. They're really, really good. It looks really good. The colors are great. Everything is really vibrant and nice. So that initial wow factor was just like, ooh, it was really cool. Really cool.
So it is totally 3D.
Yes.
And
now things can't really come up much out of it. There is definitely some depth as you're kind of walking through some of these levels and doing things in different experiences. Where there was a game where we were looking down on a character and he was moving. We were moving the character through the level, and he'd walk by trees, and the trees would kind of stick out of the board a little bit. But it's only on this material on the board. So it can only come up so high, but the real magic is the depth of this thing and how it really looks like you're looking through a portal into a video game, which is great. It looked fantastic.
Wow. But does the 3D change when you walk around the board, or do you always just see the same 3D picture like in a 3D movie in the cinema?
So as you move around, it stays how it is, and you can walk around and kind of get different views of the play area, which is neat. And the glasses were really, really light. They worked great with my glasses. Cool. There were no real issues with field of view. When you're looking at the board, the entire board is taken up. There's a good field of view on it. It was really good. The problems are that each one of they try to sell this thing as a social experience.
The price, right?
Really, that's where it's going to shine.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah. So you want to sit around this thing with your friends and play games on this board together in a social environment, and you see them clear as day. There's nothing obstructing your view, like with a VR headset, right? It looks great. The problem is that you need a PC for each set of glasses at this moment.
No.
Yeah.
But that is also run on the phone.
Yeah. Apparently, it's going to.
Because right now in the video, it's advertising it's running on a phone.
I did not see it running on a phone.
Okay.
So there were two laptops in our demo experience.
Okay,
one Alex was connected to, and one I was connected to. It was on a convention floor. It was actually in a private thing at the convention, but the PCs were not networked together because it was, there's network challenges when doing these things at expos, right?
Right.
So they weren't networked together. So me and Alex were seeing different things on the board, which is kind of a bummer. So at this time, you want to get like 4 people sitting around this board together. That's going to be expensive, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be expensive. You need the board.
Bring your own laptop,
Yeah.
Bring your own laptop, exactly. It's going to be a decent laptop. It's going to be able to render these graphics.
Oh, yeah.
And I get it. I get that these things take a lot of compute power. But They got to figure that out, because the compelling experience here is being able to play this stuff with your friends. And it's not feasible in my mind for a normal consumer to break out 3 or 4 PCs, to run these experiences.
Do you know what the resolution is on the projectors? More or less?
I don't, but it looked really good.
But how does it still work technically? So the glasses, they project the picture into your eyes, but what, right? Or what's about the board? What does the board do? What is it for?
The board has this reflective material, the special material that whenever the glasses see that board, it somehow places. I didn't get as much time to really grill these people as I wanted. I had about 20 minutes, and then they kicked us out the door. I didn't even get to do an interview with them. It was kind of a bummer. Yeah, because I really wanted to learn so much more about this, and I wanted to report on it for upload as well, right? And kind of get the information out there. But they were so busy, and they had very short.
So I actually do know how it's working, so I can give you like a quick rundown, Sebastian. So it's actually because you mentioned the 3D cinema, right? Yeah. And with the 3D cinema, you have 2 projectors, and they have polarized light, and then you're wearing these glasses, and every eye is polarized differently, so you see a different picture. Image.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a 3D cinema on your head, right? So you have your own projectors on your head, and also the glasses as well, polarized each in a different light. And then you're looking at this board, and your projectors reflect on this board right back into your eyes, right? So on the board, there's like tiny spheres, like tiny balls, and the light goes directly only back to you.
Wow.
So this means that everyone's looking at this board, and they're only seeing their own light because the light reflects right back at them.
Wow.
Right? And because it's polarized,
that
each
makes
eye
sense.
you have stereoscopy, right? So that's how it's working. And the board has these markers around it, and there's a camera on the headset, and it's tracking, just like a typical AR tracking situation, like your phone's tracking a QR code.
Okay, wow.
So that's how it works, and it's like a really clever idea.
That is a super clever idea.
One of the cool things that they did is they grabbed some more of this material that the board was made out of, and while we were playing, they stuck it right next to the board, and the entire world expanded onto that.
That's so cool, yeah.
Yeah, so you could potentially like wrap your walls in this stuff, right?
Wow.
And see the entire world around you. So there's
or wear a VR headset.
Or wear a VR headset.
Wallpaper your room, or get a headset.
Exactly. Wow.
Yeah, it was really something else though.
Okay.
This type of stuff really gets you excited for the future and what AR is going to bring. I could see this being used in maybe VR arcades or some kind of barcade, where you kind of go over and you sit down with some friends, and they have the PCs already, kicking around in the back room, and you're connected to it. For commercial use, I think this would absolutely do really, really well. But in like anything else too, content is king. If there's nothing compelling to play on this thing, it's not going to sell. But if we get some good games,
for this thing, it just seems like perfect for Demio.
I know, that's what I was saying.
Everybody must be saying that, right? Like Demio will be so good on that.
They were saying that in the booth too. They're like, we got to get Demio, and I was pinging them, kind of trying to get them together.
I'm sure they're going to be together, because they're also coming to PC as well. Like, I mean, they're definitely going to be going.
It just makes so much sense.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. Yeah.
And tell us about the controller. This is some kind of a wand or something. What is it?
Yeah, so it reminds me of like if you were to put together a barbecue lighter.
Yeah. This is how it looks.
With a Wiimote.
100%, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you can hold it with one hand and you can point it at things. But
even
then when you're
playing
when you're playing it as a game, you can turn it kind of like a Wiimote, and then have a D-pad and the buttons and joysticks and all that. So the controller was cool. It was I didn't really completely understand the point of the antenna. I mean, besides it being an antenna, right? But it was an interesting design. It kind of got the job done.
Okay.
Maybe it's just important to be able to point stuff on the board.
Is it 60OF or?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Very, very nice.
It was really, really neat. I think as they continue the development of this and they're able to get it working with multi-devices on one machine, that's going to be critical for this company, I believe.
Okay. I got it. Wow, I
and
really
right now you
really
can't order glasses either. They're getting hit pretty bad with the supply shortage and the chip shortage as well. So if you buy this thing, you get the board, you get the glasses and a controller, but you can't just order another set of glasses. You have to order a complete another set. So
okay, yeah, I couldn't even buy them. It seems like they need to first fulfill their orders for the Kickstarter, and not even I could buy them. like normally,
if Sebastian can't get them,
I cannot get my hands on them. Well, there's a supply shortage. Like I would have bought them. Yeah, it's not about getting free stuff, but anyways, yeah. And then they said, okay, but you can try it at GDC. I was like, oh, but I'm not going. Yeah. Anyways, but I'm also excited to try it out, and cool that you had the chance to try it out. Nice.
It was awesome. It was really great. And like I said, there's a lot of pros and a lot of cons. So I'm super interested. I will definitely be following these guys and seeing kind of where they take this whole thing. And
it's been such a story as well. Like leading up to the actual release of Tilt 5, like it's been such a long time coming, right? From Jerry Ellsworth. Like it's a really interesting story. Yeah.
Nice. I'm rooting for him. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I have one more question. So since that board is going to reflect the light that's coming out of your glasses, right? It must be like, you must see some kind of light rays coming out of this headset from the other people. No?
Nope.
Okay, wow.
No God rays, no rays of any kind, no picture distortion. It was kind of like magic.
Maybe if you have like this typical like fog at like at like a concert, then maybe you would see the rays. If you have like a really dusty room.
Yeah,
maybe.
Exactly. Yeah, probably. If it shines onto that board and then reflects directly perfectly into your eyes. Yeah, exactly. If there's some fogging effects, you might see it. Very cool. Yeah, cool that you saw it, Skeeva. Cool that you could try it. I'm dying to try this. This must be so cool. Yeah.
It was really neat.
Yeah, I hope they can.
It definitely stood out a lot more than a lot of the other things I saw at GDC.
Okay, I hope they can fix the problem with the computers. But our phone's getting so good, and Cloud XR and whatever, right? So it's going to happen.
They're on that path, right? From everything I hear, they know that this is an issue. They know a normal consumer isn't going to buy this and then buy a bunch of computers to play this stuff with their friends. I mean, they got to be on this path, and I hope they get there, because if they do, this will be amazing. I'll definitely have one of these in my house.
Cool. Very nice. Yeah, there was talking about Tilt 5 gaming with tabletop holograms. And we will see Demi on this. I'm so sure it must be on that.
They need to.
They need to make it happen. Yeah, right.
That was another cool experience was Demio, right? I got to go into this beautiful hotel room that like all the walls were glass, and it was kind of just overlooking San Francisco. And in the middle of this room was a table with 4 PCs set up, all running the flat version of Demio, the PC version that just launched. And I got to sit down with Alex VR and with the CEO of Resolution Games and a couple of the people who made Demio, right? And there were people in VR playing and people flat screen playing, and everyone playing together. And it was really unreal, right? Getting to play an awesome game like this with the people who made it.
That's cool.
Oh my God. It was a dream come true.
Perfect. And they are so nice, the people.
They're fantastic. Resolution Games is one of my favorite studios. They're incredible. I got to meet probably like a half a dozen people from their team throughout the couple days at GDC and at the after parties, and really got to spend some quality time with these guys. And they're so passionate.
Yes,
they're really passionate about what they do, and they're talented, super talented. The amount of polish these guys put into their products is unparalleled. So I'm rooting for them as well.
Yeah, cool. So what else did you see and enjoyed at GDC?
So the thing that blew my mind the most is a really hard thing to explain, and I tried to get footage, but the footage is NDA'd, so I can't show anything. But
PlayStation VR 2.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
I want to try that so bad. Oh man. So there is this program called Vertex. Have you heard of this?
No.
It's not, I mean, trust me when I tell you, you got to see this to really understand it, but this is a way to watch esports in general. Right? This is a stadium environment where you go into with hundreds of other people, all with their own unique Ready Player Me avatars, and you go into it like a hockey stadium or like a football stadium, and there's all the seating, there's the big screens, right, that kind of show like what's happening, zoomed in with the camera, and all the player cards and who's doing what and the statistics. But on the stadium is like the entire game happening in 3D right in front of you. So when we went in there, it was Echo Arena, and there was the entire thing was taking up the whole stadium, and you could kind of walk up and down the aisles. You could go outside into like, where you would normally go for concessions in a stadium, and there were like miniature versions of the game happening. You could stick your face in there and kind of like really look at the players from all the different angles and all the action happening, and then go back into the stadium with all the people and watch this incredible esports spectacle happening before your eyes, and all completely 3D rendered, fully, full 360. It was so unbelievably cool. And there's a lot of potential here because apparently they figured out a way to do this without developers having to implement anything. They're not connecting to really? APKs for these things. It's really wild how they're doing this. And some of the cool potential here also is watching flat esports in VR in 3D, right? So they could potentially plug in like Rocket League or something, and you could go in and you could watch these games happening like you're sitting there, like this is an actual real thing. And it melted my brain a little bit. I mean, cool. I don't think I will ever forget that demo. It was so promising, and I think it's going to completely revolutionize esports in general.
And that worked with what? With Quest games, or with which kind of games did it work?
With right now, I believe it's PC games.
Yeah,
PC VR games.
Makes most sense.
Or even PC flat games. But the magic here is that they don't have to get any implementation from the developers.
Yeah, that is crazy. Somehow, that is the magic then in this moment, right?
It is. Yeah.
Wow.
It was just. I mean, I saw the future when I was looking in this thing, and going to an actual hockey game or something, and it looked exactly the same.
Wow.
But with futuristic.
What is the name? Vertex?
Vertex Stadium.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Can we find that online already?
I don't know. Good question. I know you should be able to. They did like a teaser thing, but the teaser didn't really show anything. And I really wanted to show this footage and to show it on upload and in our channel. But when they're ready, we will.
Okay. Wow, sounds super cool. So, and could you also like see the other people in VR who are spectating, who are watching? Mm-hmm. Is it like, okay, it's really this kind of atmosphere? You are watching, you're in the stadium with other people.
Yes. Oh, and like a live sporting event, right? Like I said, you have the screen kind of, with the cameras showing the action, because, you're in a stadium, right? And you don't always want to be right in the front, sticking your head, really close to what's happening. So they're kind of showing the spectator view. They're showing who's making the plays. There's the announcer, the esports announcer kind of, naming the plays, and the entire environment is kind of customized to that game. So it was all, what we saw was all like Echo VR kind of themed, right? So everything blended together beautifully. It really looked like you were in this futuristic stadium, that you might see 100 years from now. And it was just really amazing. I cannot wait for this to become a thing, because I think this alone will blow up esports to an entirely new level. Mm-hmm. It was that impressive.
Wow. Man, this virtual reality has a future, it seems.
Oh yeah.
When I listen to you, it sounds like, hey, this seems pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think it really shows like one of the strengths of VR. It's like a really interesting use case. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Cool. Yeah, that is the cool thing when you go to this kind of expos, right? You will find some stuff that you will see in a couple of years, but you can see it now.
Right.
Wow.
Right, for sure. And I want this now. Okay. I really do. This is going to be so big. And it's kind of like when you tell people about VR for the first time, and you're like, no, you got to see it. You got to see it, or you're just not going to get it, right? It's like that. And when you first put your head in that headset and you see what I'm talking about here with Vertex, you're gonna your mind is going to open. You're going to be like, oh, I see all the possibilities in this and how it's really going to revolutionize the industry. So
wow, cool. Yeah, thanks for telling us about it. Vertex Stadium for the first time that I heard about it. And looking forward to find out more about them and probably try it too in some kind of expo. Nice. Cool. Yeah. Anything more that you saw there at GDC?
So we got to meet up with the Skinetic team for what's it called? Skin Tech, which is another haptic suit company, kind of like a B-Haptics style thing, right? Or an OWO
competition for Alex.
What's that?
For Alex. Competition for Alex.
Yes. Yes. It kind of is, But these,
where are they from?
These,
States or?
There's not where were they from?
France, I think.
Oh, really?
It might have been France.
I
can't remember.
France.
But it's really cool technology. Right now I don't think there's a lot of competition between them and B-Haptics because B-Haptics has every game you could ever want to play.
Yeah,
right?
they're really
they have the content. And you can have the coolest haptic suit in the world, but if it's not implemented anywhere, no one's going to buy it, no one's going to use it. So what are you going to do, right? So these guys have a very big uphill battle in front of them to try to get implemented into games because people are already implementing B-Haptics. You think like all these developers don't want to spend all of their time implementing all of these third-party peripherals. So there has to be a really good reason and a really good user base to compel them to spend the time to do these things. And,
or there needs to be like a common standard, but who is going to make it, right? They're competing companies.
Right.
They're not incentivized to have a common standard at the moment.
Yeah, there should be some kind of open XR-like thing, right?
Yeah,
where
exactly,
all body haptic suits and haptic devices are able to kind of connect to the same thing. But, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But this device was really good. The team was amazing. They were super enthusiastic. They love VR. They're our people, and the way I kind of describe this, if you have tried B-Haptics before, B-Haptics says like their X40, for example, has 20 motors in the front and 20 motors in the back, and they vibrate, right, with varying levels of intensity, from really, really subtle to shake the heck out of you, right? So it's I kind of look at that as the PlayStation 4 type of haptics, and then the Skinetic skin suit is more like a Nintendo Switch type haptics, where it's very pinpoint accurate, and they can do different kinds of weird effects. They had this little demo where they had one of these things on a cup, and they were kind of dropping marbles into the cup and kind of rolling around at the bottom of the cup, and you kind of feel all these different sensations, kind of like you can if you've ever used a Nintendo Switch and tried some of their gimmicky haptic things. So it's very pinpoint accurate, but it's not very strong, right? B-Haptics, if you crank that thing up, your organs inside are going to be shaking, right? This is a lot more subtle. Yeah, it's super fun. This is a lot more subtle, but you can feel things like rain, right? You can kind of bend over and feel the rain hitting your back and feel it, on your shoulders. And they have actuators kind of under your arms going down your sides. Even though there's not as many, I think there's only 16 points on the entire vest. It's a new type of haptics, just like OWO, who was also there, is another type of body haptics using technology like the Tesla suit, right, where there's these pads that have to touch your skin, and then they use current, like an electrical signal, to kind of zap you a little bit.
Right. I haven't tried that myself yet.
Yeah.
The OWO is very, very impressive. Very impressive. Where the OWO shines is it can simulate pain. And it's not even simulating pain, it is pain.
Oh, really?
Pain.
They're literally shocking you.
It's literally shocking you. They did a demo where
you die in VR, you die in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, come on.
I'll tell you, you don't want to get hit by this stuff because it hurts. If they crank the intensity up and you're getting shot, you feel it. With the OWO suit, you feel it hit in your front and you feel it come out the back, and it's very painful. They even have a demo where you're getting stabbed with a knife, and then they like twist the knife, and it hurts.
Oh my!
Shit hurts. So I don't think a lot of people want to hurt in VR, but it's a very compelling thing, because when you are in a situation where you're getting shot at in a VR game, right now we're like, oh, we're trying real hard and we want to get a high score, but that's really the only thing really keeping us dodging these bullets, right? But when something hurts, when you know you're going to get hit by that bullet and it's going to physically cause you discomfort, you're going to perform better. Your body's going to start pumping adrenaline, and you're going to really play the game better. So it's really interesting. We got to have a bright future of body haptics in front of us as well.
Yeah, I can't wait for this to be more mainstream as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right, since I also love the bHaptics vests, like how much it gives, how much it adds to being in VR. Like playing really Alex in VR, like feeling your heartbeat, all this stuff. It's so well done. Have you tried that, Thomas?
So good.
No, I've never tried the haptics suit yet.
Oh yeah,
I'm really interested though, but I haven't tried it.
It brings, touch and sensation on your body is a huge part about how we experience reality in general. Imagine if you were numb to all the different things that happen in the world. It just, it'd be weird. So getting, if we really want to become super immersed, we have to have that touch in there as well. Things like you were saying, and Alex, feeling your heartbeat. When you go to a heel station, you put your hand on there and the needle start hitting you, and then you're feeling the heels going up your stomach and down your back. And like, it's just, or in Ready Player One, you jump off a building and you put your arms out and you feel the wind blowing through your suit. It's just so cool.
Oh man,
and where it's not, where it's not impact physics, like where you get hit by a bullet, it's not smashing you in the chest, it's creating a vibration, but your body sees someone shooting you, right? And you see the red mark come up, like you just got hit, and you feel it where it happened. Your brain kind of puts this stuff together in a way that you're not really thinking about it, but it's very immersive. And body haptics are amazing. And when I'm not wearing my haptic suit playing VR, I feel numb. It's come to the point where I'm like, wow, what's happening? Why don't I feel these shots, right? So this is all really cool tech, different kinds of body haptics, from precision haptics to vibrating to actually feeling pain. It's going to be interesting to kind of see where we land in the future and what kind of things are coming. So.
Right, nice. Yeah, so Thomas, since you have not really finished Half-Life Alyx, if you would get a vest and then play it, I'm sure it would even add to it a lot.
Yeah, I feel like I have to now. Yeah,
you have to. Yeah. It's over.
It's like a first-time experience of Alyx with the vest,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man, your mind.
How many people can still do that right now?
Not many.
You find things in Alyx that you drop in your backpack, right? When you grab like a resin or whatever and you put it in your backpack, you actually feel it like going through the backpack, hitting things on the way down and landing at the bottom. It's like, really it's so cool. It's just so cool.
Yeah,
good stuff.
I check out the video. I made a video about using the bHaptics with Half-Life Alyx, and I'm just saying, oh my god, this is unbelievable. It's like so funny.
It's a whole new level.
It's a whole new level. Exactly. Yep. Cool. And the other vest that you saw, Skeeva, how expensive was that?
It was, I think it was around $700.
Okay, so they're still not cheap. It's still
no, they're not. They're not cheap. Definitely more expensive than bHaptics. If they want to compete with bHaptics, first of all, they have to find a way to lower their price. They need games implemented. They need a lot of games because bHaptic is the king right now. They have so many amazing things, and a lot of that is due to our friend Alex VR, right? He goes in there and he creates he designs a lot of these haptic patterns and hands everything over and kind of makes it really easy for developers to implement this stuff. So he does a great job. And right now this is pre-consumer, right? They're going through Kickstarters right now to kind of make this a reality. So right now the vest is not wireless, but it's going to be.
Okay, so it better be.
Right. Oh, it's got to be wireless. It absolutely has to be. Because right now you go to demo it and there's wires hanging off you going to a PC, and that's just not practical. Right. But they tell us that absolutely the consumer version is going to be wireless. So
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. These vests definitely have a bright future. It's cool. Do. Oh, I love all this stuff. Yeah, nice. Is there anything else you would like to share about GDC?
Man,
Your Disneyland.
I could really talk about it forever. I'm just gonna try to stick to the highlights here, right? We went to a Zenith launch party, which was awesome. I really liked Zenith. Me and Alex both went through that game, hit level 40, really spent a lot of time in there. So to hang out with the two co-founders, their families, and then all the amazing people were there. It was absolutely incredible. You had everyone from like the VR chat team and their CEO to like Rec Room was there, and just all of these amazing, people from all these different studios, and everyone kind of got together and celebrated the launch of Zenith. And it was amazing. The venue was incredible. The people were great. I got to meet up with the devs and the CEO of Alchemy Labs, which they are releasing Cosmonius High. They're the people who did Job Simulator and Vacation Simulator. And it was refreshing to see that their comedic value that they bring to their games is actually how they are.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, the games are fun.
People.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, they're really fun and funny people. And you can definitely see where all of their humor comes from in these games. So they were great. Met up with the Hyperdash guys, chatted and interviewed the people doing Hubris.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Hubris, I think, is personally my most anticipated game. I really enjoyed the demo. I felt a sense of immersion in that game that I had not really ever felt before, because it just looks so good. These guys are, they make stuff for movies. They're special effects artists. And for them to go in and try to make a compelling VR experience, they're killing it. They know how to do visuals, and it shows.
That's what I heard. I haven't tried the demo myself, but everyone that tried it is just raving about how good it looks. Yeah, so,
Sebastian.
Yeah, I should try it in the Aero. Yeah.
This game is so cool. I mean, the demo, at least is absolutely phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I can't think of anything that looks this good.
Wow.
It looks better than Half-Life Alyx.
Well, okay.
That's that's a tall order.
It is.
You got me excited now.
Yeah, but that's just the looks. Right. I mean, Half-Life had everything. I'm not saying it's a better game than Half-Life. Please don't assume that. Right? I mean, Half-Life had every single piece that makes an incredible game really good. These guys, you go into these environments and you see water like you've never seen it in a video game before, and swimming mechanics are really good, and the textures used on the rocks and these environments, you really feel like you're on an alien planet, and it's extremely immersive and just absolutely beautiful.
Cool.
Met up with the guys who did Everslot. They were fantastic. Chatted with them for a bit. We met up with the entire team of Veil. They were great. Hung out with the guys from VAL, which is the Virtual Athletics League, and got to learn a bit more about what they're doing and how they're kind of pulling people into VR and making it a more competitive environment for everyone. Let's see, Walkabout Mini Golf. Talk to those guys and their future plans. Mm-hmm.
It's a great game to hang out with your friends.
It really is. And the cool thing about Walkabout is it's not just the mini golf, right? You can also walk around, and they've hidden golf balls around the entire environment. And as you find these golf balls, you get to choose from them, and you can use these customized golf balls throughout the game. But then after that, you can go in and you can solve riddles.
What?
And you can go around, and you can run around these environments trying to figure out these riddles. And when you finally complete all the riddles for that course, you get a custom golf club, which is super cool. So
that's good.
I ran through it, my buddy Shortstack VR, and we completed all of the riddles and got all of the custom golf clubs to the game. And that took a long time. So when you really look at all of the different components and the different ways and the things to do in this game, you can get a lot of hours in this game, and it's so good. It's such a great game. My favorite golf game.
It seems like you spent quite a few hours in virtual reality there, Skeeva.
Spend a lot of time in VR.
Yeah, that's good. Nice. Yeah, GDC 2022. Of course, now you have to tell us about the main course, PSVR 2. How was it?
Let's hear it.
It was there somewhere. Skeeva.
It was there somewhere. It was behind closed doors.
Oh man!
You had to be personally invited by Sony to try it.
How can they not invite you? Yeah. What's going on there?
Man, I don't know what their problem is.
Are they not watching between realities? I mean, what's going on? They are making a VR headset. They should be watching
no
your
media
podcast.
allowed. No media allowed.
Rough.
That is rough.
They wouldn't allow devs that currently had dev kits either. So this was people that they were trying to bring in and say, no, look, this is awesome. You got to try this. We want you to develop for this headset. And I'm thinking, maybe they weren't showing it off because maybe it wasn't in its final stage. Maybe it didn't have the finalized design that maybe we've seen in the pictures, right? Okay. I don't know. That's totally a guess. But because this thing's still in production. They just revealed what it's going to look like not that long ago. But I contacted everyone, from my work
show me that.
To every developer that was there. I'm like, do you have the Sony thing? You got this going on? Can I be a part of your development team for like a minute? I just need to get in there. I have 5 minutes. This thing. Yeah. So I tried, man. I did everything I could. Tried to see if Upload could get me in. But there's just no way. It was. I feel like I probably could have gotten with the president easier.
Yeah. This is crazy. Yeah. But the great thing is that we did hear what people said about it, and it seems like those people who tried it were absolutely blown away by it.
Yeah.
Oh, so now I even can't wait even more. I'm already excited about the PSVR 2 before we heard that, right? But now it's on a totally different level.
Yeah, I've been saying for a long time that Sony's going to walk in and drop the mic and be like,
they will do it.
This is our game now. So see what happens. I mean, like you were saying, everyone's ranting and raving about this. I guess it's giving really amazing experiences. I mean, everything about this headset seems killer. It's the headset. It's the headset. The only bummer about this headset.
I don't care about the cable. I don't care. I think
it's it's not even the cable.
What is it?
They're still using Fresnel lenses. I mean, that's the only thing I can probably say about it.
But I think they have an interesting pattern going on, which might reduce the God rays.
Exactly.
And since people are so VR developers are raving about it, maybe the clarity is pretty good. Even
I'm pretty sure it will be great. Even the lenses. I'm sure they figure it out. I totally trust Sony.
Me too. And they have all of these amazing developers that they have great contacts, great relationships with, right? So if anyone can get some of these AAA guys in and some of these more compelling games that will bring more players in, it's going to be Sony. They're a great company and they care about video games. So
wow, this is going to be huge. Yeah, VR has a bright future.
Man, and then you have face haptics, right?
Right. Oh my goodness.
Got to couple it with the B haptics as well. I mean,
eye tracking, right?
Yeah.
Dynamic foveated rendering, super high resolution displays, just everything about it. I mean, the big thing for me is the
onboard audio.
Yeah,
right.
The audio.
That is
onboard audio is missing. That is such a missed chance.
It's just like the other headset. You have to plug in headphones, right? So.
Like the Index is so amazing because of its speakers.
Also the G2, obviously,
And it's the same,
Yeah. So this is exactly. This is something that's not so nice, but I'm sure the rest will blow us so much away. Also the triggers that you have this force feedback, and you can feel the different rifles. It's already good on the PS5 DualShock, right? But in VR, totally different level. This is going to be good. Oh my god. Yeah, cool. Skeeva, thank you so much for letting us know about GDC. It nearly feels like I've been there.
You're welcome. Cool. It was an incredible time, and I cannot wait until the next one.
Perfect. Yeah, great. And I'm looking forward to go to these expos as well. Now we're going to find out really everything about Vermillion. Before I ask you lots of questions, Thomas, let me tell people what this is all about. And let me show a video of me doing my masterpiece here. So
let's look.
Yeah, let's have a look here. So, it's a video that I made.
In German localization right there.
Exactly, that's the German localization. That's the easel there, and you can totally put the easel where you want. So this app is an oil painting simulator. Is that correct? Could I call it an oil painting simulator?
Yeah,
how do you call it?
That's where it is. Yeah.
That's what it is. You get your palette there. You can also put it right where you want it. You can take the palette into your hands. You have all different kinds of brushes that you can use. You can mix the colors just as if it was real. You can find the right color shades. You will draw onto the, how's it called? The
canvas,
The canvas. That's the word I was looking for. The canvas, and the the strokes, they will mix, and the colors will also mix on the canvas just like they would in real life. Well, I've never really did an oil painting, but it just feels right. It just feels like the real deal. It is beautiful. And here you see me doing the next MRTV logo here in Vermillion. It just feels right. The immersion is just unbelievable. You can also set like different backgrounds. Here you see like the mansion background, and you can also do it in a model loft. You can even do a pass-through mode where you see your actual environment. Okay, on the Quest 2, it's not so great, right? Because it's the black and white. But okay, for Cambria, it's gonna look good. And I saw someone actually on Twitter who was like posting a video using your app and using the Cambria, right?
Yeah, that someone was me as well, of course. Right?
You have checked out the Cambria. Oh,
no, it's fake, Sebastian. Like, how could you fall for this? It's a montage video, but yeah, I mean, it shows the excitement for color posture, right? And since Skeeva was talking about Lynx, I gotta check it out. I gotta call Stan.
Have you not yet talked with Stan?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so... I will just introduce you to each other, because you have to make Vermillion happen on the Lynx.
But then I gotta figure out hand tracking as well.
Yeah,
maybe if I have like brush tracking, if you could like. God, I'll stand like track this guy right here, and
right.
That would be it.
But probably, I'm not sure how complicated it is. But they use the Ultra Leap hand tracking, and so I'm sure in the future there's also going to be more headsets with the Ultra Leap tracking. So probably it would make sense to figure it out. Would be great if I could use my hand and.
I agree. It would be a challenge, but it would be really interesting. And I think actually the Lynx will also have a controller in the future, right? Maybe like a third-party controller.
You're right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That should happen. Yeah, and then what you can see here right now for the people who are watching this podcast, actually, right next to your canvas and to the easel, you can put like a browser. There is a browser. And on that browser, there are several tutorials that Thomas made. And he shows you how to use Vermillion in that cool style. He's a VR avatar, and you're learning how to make Bob Ross painting. Bob Ross, the guy, I don't know, is it 70s or 80s when he made those videos?
Something like that.
Something like that. And amazing videos, by the way. And you're teaching people now to draw these kind of things in Vermillion, and you see it here right now. This is my first masterpiece, and just as I said in the very beginning of this video, I am absolutely not talented with drawing, but I followed it, and something happened. In front of me, this masterpiece appeared.
I think there was really the power that Bob was trying to convey as well, that he's always like, okay, everyone can paint, right? And this is like really easy. And it's so surreal that now I'm the guy, I'm like,
the new Bob Ross
the
now.
Virtual Bob. I haven't really like really fully appreciated this fact yet, that I'm now teaching people for the first time to paint, you.
Yes.
People who are like, I have no artistic ambition.
Zero.
At all. Like, I have never even thought about painting. And then they're like, let's try it. And, it works, right? It's like an easy painting to do. And you just move it around. And somehow you get something which looks quite good. And, it's really surreal. And I think, like, Bob had to cope with the time of people having to actually get physical stuff. And like a regular consumer is not going to get this stuff at home.
Never.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But now people who have the Quest, like they can just try it and find out that actually, maybe painting is actually a really fun thing. Yeah, I mean, even if you have never thought about it before, if you do it, like it sort of clicks.
I'm telling you, I'm motivated. I'm really motivated to learn more techniques now. In my opinion, you should do more of these kind of videos. They are gold. Oh, yeah. Really, they're gold.
Yeah, I really want to. The only thing is, I'm not a great painter either. Luckily, there's people who can paint. Like the other tutorial is done by a friend from the Vermillion community. He's called Marcus Franz. He's like a great painter. He also has like a full paint long tutorial. And I'm hoping like as the community grows,
I'm sure more people will do this.
There's more people and there's already people who they've been making like insane paintings in VR. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're gonna find the actual new Bob Ross who's like really talented at painting and also entertaining.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's gonna be great, but it's definitely gonna be a thing. Like it has all the pieces, right? It has the browser, it has the tools.
Perfect,
it's gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
It's really perfect. And I was just shocked to see how real these paintings look in terms of that you can see the 3D effect, as in you can see the oil painting on that thing. That was what really like struck me, how real that feels. And then you can even export it as a 3D model. How amazing is that? With all these 3D coming out of the painting. Oh man.
Yeah, that was like an important thing, that it's not only color, right? It's not like MS Paint in VR, right? It really,
exactly.
You have to like the feeling, like a thickness of the paint, like a viscosity, like the light changes, reflection, where you look at it. And that's like a big thing with the 3D export. If you put it on like Sketchfab, which is like this website for looking at stuff in 3D, like you can turn it around and you can see it, like which direction you made your brushstrokes. And I think that's like a really cool thing, which is like kind of unique to this kind of VR application, because there's of course like tons of other painting stuff on desktop before, but like this really adds like a new dimension to it, which wasn't really there before we had like these different VR painting apps. So yeah.
Exactly. So tell us, Thomas, how did everything start with Vermillion? How did you get the idea to make an oil painting simulator? Why?
Yeah, why?
So are you an artist?
So I'm actually not an artist at all. I've always been a developer, a VR developer. But it started when like at the beginning in January of 2020, before COVID, my girlfriend and I were planning on doing a 6-month travel like around the world, like Southeast Asia, South America. Mm-hmm. And we were in Thailand for a month, and then we were in Cambodia for a month. And then COVID hit, right? So like the locals were like super sketchy towards tourists, like, and we just like decided, okay, like overnight that we had to go home. And then like we were like super, like we were back in Belgium in a place where we didn't really belong, because we had to separate from our family. We didn't have our own apartment, so we just stayed at someone else's apartment, we just used at the time. But yeah, we were kind of depressed. Like our entire plan for the future just sort of vanished. I think for many people at the time, we're like, what am I gonna do? And especially for us, like we came back from this trip, not even halfway in there. So yeah, I was looking for some peace of mind, and I kind of rediscovered these Bob Ross videos. If you ever watched them.
Oh, like, really?
They're like
so cool.
They're super relaxing, right?
Yeah,
if you look at him, and he's like, it's like this moment of zen. And being a VR developer, you're like, let's just fire up Unity, a new project, and let's try if we can replicate this experience. So I just got a single video, not even with a browser yet, just like a fixed video of him, and like the most rough painting mechanics. If you would see the first YouTube video of the first prototype, But I made like I kept working on it. This is again next to my job, because I remotely got my old job back after I got home from Belgium. And yeah, so I made the first prototype video. I put it on LinkedIn, and I had like 70 contacts on LinkedIn. Like I didn't know anybody, but it went kind of viral on there. With like
on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn. It's the only social I have. Right?
This is so funny.
I didn't have any Facebook. I didn't have Twitter until very recently. Like I didn't have any socials except for LinkedIn. So that's why, LinkedIn. But yeah, there was like this very positive response, and it was clear that people were like, okay, first of all, like it's the charisma of Bob, of course. Like he could sell anything if you put him on there, which is also literally, by the way, what Bob Ross Inc. is doing. Like they put his face on literally anything, and it sells. But it's such a relaxing experience, and it was like such a vibe from people, I think, especially also who are familiar with VR. We're like, okay, yeah, this could actually mean that I could try this, because I grew up with Bob, watching his videos at home, and now I've never been able to do it in real life. So I figured, like, okay, like this is something that people are interested in doing. And since then, I've basically never stopped working on it, right? So just kept improving on it. Even tried to contact Bob Ross Inc., which did not go well. Yeah, they were very much not interested, which might be like a conflict of interest between they're selling physical paints,
right?
And they think maybe they think that the VR version would cannibalize on the sales, which perhaps. I think is a very wrong assumption, because I think it brings people from an easy digital medium into the physical medium who otherwise would never even get the physical medium.
You're right. Actually, now I feel like
there are actually quite a few people in the community who have taken up physical painting after learning it in VR. But anyway, they did not see it this way, sadly. But kept working on it since then. That's kind of how it got started. Even though I can't paint, I'm not an artist, but I've been really into it. I've been, watching tons of artists on YouTube very closely, learning how the paint behaves, how it's really done. And then it was mostly just getting, feedback from the first beta testers, like from people who are very familiar with the medium, with oil painting, and it's like, okay, it should behave like this, Yeah, and that's how it got started.
That's great. And actually, you had to become a total specialist on oil painting. You must know all the tools, right? All the brushes. You must find out how they behave together with the color and how the strokes look. And you also must learn how the colors mix on the canvas, right? Isn't it like this? You really had to become like the super specialist of oil painting.
I would definitely, I would not be able to call myself like a super specialist, right? I mean, I would make a fool of myself compared to like a real artist who's been doing it like a lifelong.
Sure.
But of course, I learned a lot about it and like study what I could. And that's like the beauty of it, that there's so much material like on any topic, right? On YouTube. And that's, I think, like one of the strengths now of Vermillion, because it simulates oil painting in, a really good fashion, that you can literally watch the oil painting tutorials for real life painting and then learn those skills in VR. So like the browser has pre-bookmarked videos, which I also use to like learn how to mix colors. And it's like a literal painter, and he's like, okay, we have the primary colors. This is how you mix them, and then you do it in VR, and it behaves the same way. And it's like, okay, and you have this thick paint over thin paint, and you try it, and it also works in VR. And I think that's like a real strength that VR offers, that you can have this training, and you have this similar with real life, because you're using your hands. It's in a very different way than we're used to with a digital medium.
It's magic. This obviously could only work in virtual reality.
Yeah,
obviously, right? It's so magic. It's like a magic app. It's so good. I'm really blown away by it. Skeeva, you have to try it. You have to try it.
I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. I got to get into this. This past couple of weeks has just been like expo every day. No time to actually play anything that wasn't on the floor. But I'm super stoked to get into this, and I'm really interested to see, as people try this, I'm sure there's going to be some people that had no idea that they like to paint, and they're going to fall in love with becoming an artist.
Really,
right?
I mean it. I really mean it. I really enjoyed this process of making this masterpiece. And I just want to show you that it's now also in the metaverse. Here, it's this is my parcel in Somnium Space. Big props to Somnium Space for helping me build this beautiful parcel. And here it is. In the middle of it, you see my masterpiece. And then if you visit my parcel, and I'm going to make a whole video about it, you can walk in VR there. You can walk up and you can see this masterpiece. You can click on it, and obviously I also made an NFT out of it. Yeah, I know it's the buzzword, but it makes so much sense. And then if you want, in the future you might want to buy it. But at the moment I don't feel like selling it, because it's my first piece of art, right? So it's cool. It's cool that you have the ability to export it as a GLB file. In my opinion, it's genius, because you can do something like mint it as an NFT, put it on OpenSea, put it into a VR chat, put it in Somnium Space, and all these things, right? So it's amazing. I'm really fascinated by that. Yeah, so many
I would
things.
love to see how this translates into real life painting too. I'm really, because I feel like we were saying, right? Someone's going to figure out that, wow, I really love to paint. I had no idea. And then they're going to eventually take what they learn in this app and try to bring it over to physical paints with canvas. And I'd love to see some people do that and to see how well it translates over.
Yeah, there's
really
actually
cool.
like a really nice side-by-side picture of one of the community members, Princess Fuzzy, she's called, shout out. And they've been doing like every day a Bob Ross episode, right? I don't know how many she's done right now, but like tens of them, like I know like 30 at least. And then she was like, okay, let's actually get like a cheap canvas and some acrylic paints because it's a lot cheaper and not like you don't have the fumes as you do with real old paints. And they look so similar. Actually, even the Vermillion piece looks a bit better. But like, yeah, it's really stunning. And it's like, yeah, they learn to paint in VR, and then I mean, of course, there's gonna be some differences, you know, like in reality, you have actually like the feedback, but the same skills apply. Like, you know, the same movements you're making, and the same color mixing, and also just like the things for painting itself. You know, like you learn how to balance the colors to build your scene. You know how the orange is seen, and yeah, it's just amazing. Like you can clearly see it's like the same artist making this stuff, and it looks so similar. Like it's such a beautiful experience.
Wow, must be a great sense of achievement for you as well to see that the Vermillion piece looks even better than the real thing.
It actually did look even better than the real thing. Yeah, of course, the real thing was done with acrylics, right? I mean, maybe it's just maybe just a thing.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it is actually really neat that people are able to use these skills, and it goes with other games as well. Like I made a Reddit post about the launch, and people are commenting like, like people are always asking this. Like, is there a thing that is often coming back? Like, does the skill from VR translate to real life? And there's people commenting like, yeah, I didn't play table tennis before, but I've been playing 11 a lot. And then the first time they actually got into physical table tennis, they were able to use these skills. So it's like a really good thing that VR offers.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, 11 table tennis is also really good. And probably some real hardcore flight sim fans, they might really be able to fly the Cessna or whatever, right? It's cool.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
And you know what? I also think that your app, it will pique lots of people's interest for virtual reality that before didn't even think about it.
I'm really hoping this is the case,
I'm sure, you know, like sometimes I send my videos to my mom. Just to show her what I'm doing, right? Like, hey, Mom,
makes sense, yeah, makes sense.
That's what I do. And normally she's
like,
a real job. No. Oh no, what are you doing here? Oh no. But this time she said, oh wow, this looks interesting. I also want to try. You know, like this. This is something like, okay, people might want to try it because it looks so cool and so convincing that you can make this Bob Ross thing that you actually always wanted to try somehow. You know, you saw that videos and you liked the guy and you thought like, wow, these paintings look so good, and it seems so easy, right, when he does it. And then it is not so complicated, right? You saw me doing it. So yeah, it's really cool, and probably going to bring even more people into virtual reality with Vermillion. So congratulations to that.
Yeah, that was like a thing I was hoping to do, right? Because there's like tons of great VR content already and great VR games, but there's like a whole segment of users who are not into shooters or not into sports games, you know, and they want like maybe like a more creative experience. And there's already like a few great creative apps already, but I think like the physicality of painting and just being able to touch the canvas, you know, I'm really hoping that it will show the value that VR has to people who have not yet considered it before.
Cool. I must ask you now, what does Vermillion mean? Does it have
Vermillion is a color.
Oh, really?
It's like a shade of red, a little bit closer to orange. So like the color of the logo, that's Vermillion. It's like literally a color.
Oh, really? Oh,
it's also a pretty cool song by Slipknot, but they used one L. I used
nice.
Nice. I didn't know there's a color.
Yeah, just a color.
No, I had no idea it was a color, and that's really cool. What a cool little.
And it's also like a sneaky VR in there without being obvious about it.
Oh my goodness!
Sneaky VR mention.
Oh man, yeah, of course. I totally oversaw that. Yeah, Vermillion. Oh,
under the hood, Yeah.
Oh wow, that's so
Very
well
clever.
thought through. And who had the idea for that Vermillion name color?
Yeah, I did. I was on the train looking for my first sole proprietorship registration, and I had to come up with a name for my program as well. At the time, it was called VR Painting, which looking at it now would probably not have been a good name. Right. I was really wrecking my head, like what it should be called. I was just looking literally like at the list of pigments, because like the pigments, all the paints have pretty cool colors, right? Because Bob Ross, he always starts with like, we now start with the list of colors across the screen, and it's like titanium white and like burnt sienna. And I was like, these are pretty cool names. I was like looking at this list of all different paint names, and then I came across Vermillion, and it kind of stuck in my head, like, is this cool? Is it too tacky? It kind of had something, and I think the thing which subconsciously sold me was like the sneaky VR in there.
Yeah, you're right. It's a logical choice now that I think about it. Nice, very cool. How long did it take you to program it?
Yeah, so it started at the start of 2020, right? And now we're 2022. So yeah, 2 years on and off. There's like a period of like at least half a year in 2020 where I didn't work on it. Like after the failed Bob Ross call, I was very demotivated. Did not work on it after that for a while, and then I picked it back up. But yeah, always like next to a full-time job, So it's been slow going because of that.
Yeah.
But it's a labor of love, But yeah, about like in time about 2 years, but not full time.
Yeah, right. Okay. So when did the game or the app launch on Steam? It's like more than half a year ago, last year or something.
Yeah,
right?
I think like the 26th of July it launched on Steam, and a couple of weeks later on Rift as well. So the PC VR reception has been really positive. Like I've not done any marketing, but it's been it's just word of mouth. It's been doing, considering the PC VR market size, I really can't complain. And yeah, the feedback is great. And there's like on Steam, you have this built-in community page, right? And you can share screenshots or art of the game. And it's so fitting that there's this art page. Normally it's like for fan art, right? But now people are putting their paintings on there. And it's just really nice to be looking at the Steam page, like the community, and what people have been making with it. Like I'm really like every day I'm looking like, is there a new thing on the Steam page? It's really cool. Because many developers now, they only go to Quest, understandably, right? But I only have like the OG Vive headset, right? As for PC VR, and when I started, and that's the thing I started developing for, and I kept going at it and there were people saying to me like, why are you doing this for PC VR? Quest is where it's at. And of course, Quest is where it's at, right? I mean, it's a great device, and being standalone, it's absolutely amazing. But having the strength of PC VR is still something which is worthwhile. And I'm glad I stuck with the PC VR version, because I had then a really high standard of the level of quality I wanted to achieve. Because like when you have a big GPU, you just push anything
you want. You don't care.
You don't worry about optimization, right? You just don't care features, and like a higher resolution. And then when it was time to port to Quest, that was of course really challenging, because you don't want to drop any of the features. But you have to, because it's on a PC. But it meant that I had a really high bar that I had to keep for myself. And so yeah, I'm glad I stuck to PC VR as well.
That's cool.
And now it's cross-buy, so people who get it on Quest and also have a VR-capable PC, they can enjoy like the higher resolution, the higher quality of PC as well.
Wow, yeah, that makes so much sense. I must say that I hadn't tried your app before. I haven't tried the PC VR app. I just got to it now via the Quest, and that's going to be the case for so many people. So it's great that it's on Quest, because more people will be able to enjoy that feeling, right? To be able to draw, to paint in VR. So if I would put on the PC VR headset and try Vermillion, would I be shocked that it's so much better? Because I felt that the Quest version is so good already.
Yeah,
the palette looks good.
It is exactly the same from painting mechanics or virtually the same. There's like minor differences which you probably won't be able to spot. I know they're there, but it's like exactly the same, right? That was really important to me, that it really has like the fully featured painting simulation on Quest. So the main difference is just the resolution, right? Like the standalone headset, it can't handle as many pixels as like a fully like 2080 can. So that's the difference you're going to be seeing if you're painting on PC. It's just going to be a bit sharper, like a bit clearer.
Okay. But yeah, that makes sense.
That's the only difference. It's just exactly the same on Quest. Otherwise, it's been tough to get there, but it's running. It's running standalone, free from PC. And then if you want like the best quality, like the crisper resolution, then you're gonna have to hook up to PC.
Makes sense. But then probably you cannot directly share your picture to Facebook.
There's no direct share to Facebook button in the PC VR.
Makes sense.
And there's no pass-through either. So those features are unique to Quest.
Yeah, that makes sense. You guys know how much I'm always bitching about that Facebook login requirement, right, for the Quest, right? But this time I thought, that's cool. I can directly share. I can directly share it to my friends. Now you
have a use for it. Yeah.
Now I know. Okay. I thought that is quite good. That is quite good. That was quite cool that I directly could show like my masterpiece, because I was proud of me doing something like this, right? And then I posted it and I got quite some likes on it. That was cool. Yeah, right.
Very good. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So you told us that you decided to go full-time Vermillion, which is it's a huge decision, right? Like I can remember.
Yeah, that was honestly like a very, very tough decision to make. Yeah.
So what it was? When was it? Some time ago already, right? Well, when you launched, tell us more.
I launched in July, right? And actually, I already knew I was gonna be coming to the Quest store even before the Steam launch. So Upload, shout out to Upload again. They actually covered my first press release where I announced that it's gonna be coming to Steam. And then the guys at Facebook, even before it was Meta, it was still Facebook at that time. They saw it and they reached out to me and said like, this looks like a cool game. Do you want to have a call? And then I did like the pitch deck and they accepted me on the store. And little did I know that I should probably have quit my job right there and then, looking back at it. But you're very uncertain, right? I've never been independent before. I've always been an employee.
Yeah.
And there's a real fear of, not knowing how it's going to be received, not having a salary. It's like a really high threshold to learn to cross. And I'm seeing Skeeva probably going to the same thing back when maybe on you switch to being independent. I mean, like it's a big step. And even after it launched on Steam and it was doing okay, it was selling more than I was making at my day job, which cost me a lot of taxes, by the way. But even then, you're still always like, is it gonna keep going? Is it gonna drop? Like, it was a really tough choice, and only now it was like so crazy trying to get everything done for Quest. I was like, okay, I cannot handle it anymore. I have to quit my job and work on it. I just can't handle it otherwise.
Okay, yeah, cool. Congratulations that you made this step. It's a huge step, but I'm sure it will pay off since it's just such a good product. So did you just mention that you already earned more with Vermillion when it was on the Steam VR than compared to your normal job?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, great. That is great. But it was not constant. You didn't know exactly.
Yeah, you never know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and it's like with any product at launch, like with any game, right? At launch, it's okay, and it was even in like the top 3 selling on the VR games of Steam. I was like, I mean, people are into it, and then it drops down and down and down every week, of course, as it does. And it's always uncertainty, right? So yeah.
But now on the Quest store, can you already tell that you will be good? I mean, is it selling well now for the first few days? That's my question, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's been doing okay. Like if you look at the number of reviews, I'm not complaining. It's too early to tell how it's going, but the people who are reviewing it,
they love it.
They love it. They're into it, and like you said, many people or like I've never painted before, I never had any interest in painting before, but I just get it, I get the immersion. And like one guy on Reddit, just before our talk, he was like, I was never into painting, and I fired up Vermillion, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna spend a few minutes this morning, looking at it. And then he took off the headset, and it was 3 hours later because he was just listening to a podcast on the browser and just doodling on the canvas and just losing track of time. And even though he didn't have any interest in painting before, he just like, he gets it, it's just a chill experience.
Yeah, that is the point. It is so relaxing. I also forgot the time when I was following your tutorial. It was, and wow. Then 40 minutes were gone, and it's so good. And what I really, really love as well, and I'm going to explore this feature more, is that you can project your browser onto the canvas. How beautiful is that? So you can, any kind of picture, anything that's on the World Wide Web, on the interwebs, you can project it onto that canvas and then probably follow it.
Yeah.
How amazing is that?
So cool. That was a big thing for me, because like the threshold for many people, including myself, is like, okay, like I'm a 30-year-old guy and I can only draw stick figures. Like I'm not gonna be able to paint anything. So like the drawing thing is like a huge threshold for many people. But if you can trace it, it makes it a lot easier. So that's why the projector, and like even big name artists, like actual painters, they also use projectors, right? It's like there's no shame to using a projector.
Good. And I don't feel so bad about
it. You don't need to feel bad about using a projector at all. Even like the biggest guys do it to save time, or when you're doing like a big piece. But just having it on there on the canvas, you can just trace it. Like you're not gonna be having weird long arms when you're trying to paint a human. Like this one guy, and he's doing a pop culture character every single day since the start of this year, and he's never missed a day, and he's doing great pieces, and it all looks perfectly and like anatomically correct, because he just uses the projector, he's tracing it, and they come out so great. He's done like Zelda and like the guy from Watch Dogs, and it's great.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness, it's so good. Skeeva, you have to go in there, follow his tutorial. Like make a video out of it and post it. We want to see you.
I'm gonna try, man. I'm not very artistic.
I'm telling you, same here. It's easy. Yeah. It's really, you will see. It's incredible. And the great thing about this, as compared to reality, undo.
Undo.
Yeah.
Undo.
Yeah.
Undo is a big one. Yeah.
Is there going to be some kind of way to display your artwork? Maybe like a gallery or something where you can.
Yeah. So that's the first really big thing that I want to add after launch now is being able to even frame your paintings and putting them up in your own space, and then having a free demo version which can be multiplayer, so people can come over to your space and you can show them your paintings in VR.
This is
like
incredible.
That's what I want to do. That would be like the first step towards multiplayer. But like full-on multiplayer painting is like, that's going to be like a serious challenge, because like the simulation is pretty complex. Because like games like King's Bay VR are also great, but it's a lot more straightforward to have like the spray can networked. Like networking the brushstrokes is like a bigger challenge, but it's something I want to tackle. But this would be like the first step towards it, like being able to invite people over. And preferably, it could also work with the social home that Facebook is planning to do. Like they want to have you be able to invite your friends to your VR home on Quest. And then hopefully they will allow custom models, but at the moment they don't allow custom GLBs to be in the home. So you can unlock them from apps, but it's always like a fixed model. So that's why I'm probably going to have to do it myself. And I think that's a big part of it, because people make art to be able to show it to other people, right? You also want to be able to chill and just make it for yourself. But most of the time, you're gonna want to show what you've made, and it looks the best in VR. You want to, like, that's why you go to a museum. It looks the best in person, and that's the experience that VR can give you as well.
Yeah, that is really exactly also the reason why I put it into the metaverse. Yeah, into some
one of the metaverses.
In one of the metaverses, exactly, into something space on my parcel, because it's so cool, right? That people can walk into my parcel. I will next week the video, and then simply have a look at it from all sides, and you can see the 3D because it's the GLB model. It is beautiful. I love it. I love that export function. That export function is gold, and I'm glad that you put it there. It makes so much sense. You want to show that.
I bring pictures, of things we do in screenshots and all that into my home in Neos. the Neos Metaverse platform, and we have the full Between Reality ship in there, and then downstairs from the studio there's halls to different parts of the ships, but there's pictures everywhere of different screenshots and awesome things that we've done hanging out with friends, and it would be awesome to be able to put some paintings I've done down there. So that'd be being able to export as a GLB. That's such a big deal.
It's
what
huge.
A great idea.
I really wanted this option, like, especially because we love stuff in VR, we usually make content, like I really wanted this in there. And I'm also going to be adding direct upload to Sketchfab soon in a coming update, so that now I have to share to Facebook, and then the model is going to be shared to Sketchfab, and then you can log in there on the browser, and then you can immediately share your 3D model with someone else, even in VR, right? Because Sketchfab also works in VR, so I think it's going to be like a really shareable way to show your paintings.
Beautiful. I was just thinking of so many more business ideas. I love business, by the way. So
new Kickstarter.
I was thinking, wouldn't it be great if you would team up with some print service? You must have thought about this, right?
I've had many people suggesting this thing already.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe something worth looking into. I mean, there's of course it's several complications, right? I mean, first of all, it's going to be worldwide. I'm not sure if there's one service who does it worldwide, and then there's many different options, and you need to enter your address and everything, and
understand.
And your payment information. That there's certain hurdles, but it's an interesting idea.
Yeah, true. Yeah, what is next in your future, Thomas, for Vermillion? Okay, so you talked about the feature that you have. You can show your painting in some kind of multiplayer room, which I think is a fantastic idea. What else? What is next for you?
Oh yeah, there's still tons of improvements I want to do to the painting experience itself. I want to add paint tubes, because I just think it's going to be a fun experience, even on PC VR with the knuckles to squeeze paint tubes and put more paint on your palette, just because it's such a tangible VR experience.
Satisfying experience.
And and probably more brushes, more environments, like a dark environment or something, which I've had requests now because people are playing in the evening and just want to chill with dimmed lighting. These kind of features are common. And also something for PC VR, which I really want to do, which I am personally maybe even the most excited for, is have it as an overlay for other VR games, so that you're just putting up Skyrim VR fully modeled, putting then your easel in there, and then painting this mountainscape from Skyrim VR fully 3D.
What a fantastic idea is that!
That is something I'm super excited for, which I really want to do, just for the PC VR community, and I'm hoping it's going to work. It's going to be a challenge, because the API for it is not very well documented. So Valve, if someone's watching, help someone out. But this kind of VR experience of multi VR apps laying on top of each other is, I think, something which is underexplored, and something which is really beneficial.
You're right. It makes so much sense. Yeah, you want to be in Skyrim, sitting there and just painting it, because it's so beautiful. Because many people just love chilling in these environments, right? Especially in VR, or Alex, you're sitting on the starting balcony and you're just taking in the sights, and if you then can also just do a little bit of painting there, I think it's really a really nice experience. Wow. So there's lots of things you will be able to do with Vermillion. And you are the only one working on this right now.
I'm the only one working on it. So it's it's a lot of work ahead of me. But I love it. Even though I've been working so many hours on it, it's really motivating. If you have, I think you guys must know this feeling from doing your own channel, right? If you have something, if you have a project that motivates you, and you have a community which is giving back, giving you energy, then it's just you keep going on it. And it doesn't feel you don't feel burned out. It doesn't feel like a drag, Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why I can do 3-hour sessions talking about Pimax.
We still have to talk about Pimax, and our timer is already at 2 hours.
If you still have time, is it still okay for you to talk about Pimax?
I want to know all about the new Pimax stuff.
Okay, cool. Then that's going to be the next topic. So let's finish talking about Vermillion. I can just say, try it out. The $20 is so worth it. It's actually cheap if I think about what I got out of it. That one painting. I'm going to sell it obviously for probably 20 ETH.
Easily, right? Yeah.
I mean, easily,
it's
right?
gonna happen, you know.
So, so the $20 is absolutely it's for free. It's amazing. So,
I gotta save up. I want to buy.
It does not come with success on OpenSea. I mean, there's no guarantees for selling any NFTs when you're getting Vermillion. Just a disclaimer.
Right. No, it's not just about this. Obviously not. But it gave me already more than $20 worth. Just this one session, really, to be able to follow Bob, Thomas, Ross. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah. So definitely check out Vermillion if you have the chance. It is so good. It's so worth it. And this is my app of the week for sure. Probably the month, and probably we'll see. I love it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. No, thanks for coming on the show and telling us about it. It's great to meet you. It's cool that you're also not so far away, actually, that we're here in Europe. That's great.
Well, I'm definitely going to be trying this today.
Yeah, you must. Now you must.
So cool.
Now you really, really have to do it. You really have to do it.
It's happening.
Cool. Yeah. So now let's talk about the last topic of today's show, and we're already like 2 hours in. But okay, that's the thing. When you talk about something that excites you, right? Like VR for us, you forget about the time, and then if there's so nice people, and you need new people like Thomas for the first time, it's amazing. I also love what I do, Skeeva. We are really lucky to do what we like to do.
For real.
It is really
a beautiful thing.
It is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And now this here, this is the Pimax 12K QLED. It was cool to see it for the first time, not as a render, yesterday in the event on my channel on MRTV. And what we're looking here at, actually, this is the Pimax 12K QLED. This is an upcoming headset, the new flagship device from Pimax. This is not only a high-end PC VR headset, which can be connected to the computer via cable. No, this can also connect to the computer wirelessly via a WiGig module that you see here. And this is the receiver. This is the WiGig receiver, and it has some hidden functions that we're also going to talk about. Thomas, you're up for a treat. It was really a cool show yesterday. We found out a lot of things.
Is it also an air conditioning unit by Dyson?
That is actually what I said yesterday in the stream as well.
I know. It looks exactly like it.
It looks exactly like Dyson, really. It's like, wow, hopefully they will not get sued by Dyson.
or a sideways Oculus logo, too.
Yeah. Exactly. A bit longer, exactly. Oh, so interesting. Yeah. Other than that, this is not only a PC VR headset, this is also a standalone headset. It can totally operate in standalone mode. It has an XR2 chipset, which is going to be clocked way higher than the Quest because this is going to be cooled much more efficiently or stronger. I don't know. At least it works. It has much more power than the Quest 2. So this is not only PC VR, this is also a standalone headset. And what you see here is actually the hot swappable battery pack that you're going to put into the back of the device. Let me see if I can get to the picture. Here is where you put the hot swappable battery in. It's pretty cool, Thomas, right? What are your thoughts seeing this now?
I mean, I'm so impressed, because these are all the things that they're planning on doing, and to see it physically here, I mean, they put like all the things. It's like all of the checkboxes. I'm really interested to see if it's gonna work, right? If it's gonna be a good device. I mean, it looks so promising. Maybe a bit heavy.
Yeah,
but maybe
perhaps.
It's balanced. Maybe it's like the Lynx. Maybe it's a good balance with the battery in the back. Who knows?
I believe so. Well, yeah. I also think that the current Pimax headsets, they do have this nice balance. It works. They are not as light as the Lynx or the Quest. But I think, in my opinion, it works now. So that is fine. Also, what you see here on the pictures, the first time that we see actually the controllers. And obviously, they do remind us a lot of the Quest controllers. But in my book, that's not a bad thing, since the Quest controllers are good. Skeeva, what's your thought about this?
So this is one of the most exciting. I mean, just everything about this is exciting. But I was really, really excited to see that they kind of went with more of a tried and true version of a VR controller, because they had some
sword
interesting
controllers.
The sword controllers never really lived up to the potential, and it's mostly, I think, in my mind, because they could never get a joystick to work, and that's too bad. But this looks awesome. I'm super excited to try a Pimax with real controllers because I never wanted one before. I don't want to use Vive wands. Do you know what I mean? Like,
or you could use the knuckles.
You could use the knuckles.
Yeah, I know, but still, even the knuckles for me are not the best. I use
really? You're not a knuckles man. Interesting.
No, I mean, so they break all the time. I just got my fifth set in.
That's true.
So I have my fifth set of knuckles controllers sitting here. But one of the things that I honestly dislike about the knuckles is the capacitive squeeze, right? I want that physical analog button for the.
And that's honestly a real developing challenge as well, right? Mm-hmm. Having like a good grip, but you're always touching it. It's not easy. And then for some people, like this is like a really like PC VR development nightmare. Like it breaks differently. So for some people, it becomes really tough to squeeze, and for others it becomes like really trigger happy. So I actually have a separate slider. If you're using the knuckles and you're doing the Vermillion tutorial, there's a separate slider for changing the threshold at which you can grab something using knuckles. Because some people are like, I have to squeeze crazy hard to grip something. I'm like, I don't have to grip crazy hard, but just because the thing broke.
Right.
So extra development challenge for PC VR right there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So I totally agree with you, Skeeva. I also think that this grip, it sounded so cool when they first talked about that controller, right? But then in actual real life, it's like a pain to really hold things all the time.
And there's not so many games
by mistake, and it just doesn't. It's not where it should be. And I might even put up with it even more if the finger tracking was spot on, but it's not.
It's not, so and not many games actually use it because I mean, you want to be cross-platform. And it's not spot on. I agree.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, so it was really cool to see those controllers for the first time. And yes, they are Oculus Touch knockoff, but in my book, again, I think it's a good idea.
It's great. It's perfect.
It's great.
Like, please
totally
use one standard, two buttons, and a joystick. That's what we want.
Exactly, and it works so well. Then what you can see here on the device, actually 4 cameras, and yes, it is inside-out tracking. So this is not anymore dependent on lighthouse tracking. And I also think it makes sense because, well, this is the beauty of the Oculus, of the Meta Quest, right? You don't need to have those lighthouse base stations. You don't need to bring them, right? You can just pop out the device and it works everywhere. And you're not dependent on Valve being able to sell you those base stations, which are expensive.
Yeah, but this is going to be like a make or break point for them because not many companies have had a solid inside-out tracking system, and like the only one who's super solid is Meta. And even there, with the Quest, you very often, at least I do as a developer, you lose tracking. So you put on the headset, you get the error message tracking lost, you have to recalibrate. So what's a company like Pimax going to be doing? Is this like, is the tracking going to be as rock solid as it needs to be? Because if it's not, then like it can be a great display, but if the tracking isn't there,
You're right.
Tracking is super critical. It's everything about VR. If you're not tracking your hands and your head properly, then it's dead in the water. So it'll be really interesting to see how this works, how they handle things like occlusion, putting the controllers behind your back. Meta was able to really do some magic with their tracking, and it's good.
It's solid.
And then I like to use my HP Reverb G2 a lot as well, but even them, I mean, it's HP, and they haven't been able to truly nail the tracking. So this will be interesting to see. They have to get this part right.
The good thing is though they're using the same technology as an infrared light. Like one problem of the Reverb G2 is it's using like visible light, and that's why they are not being tracked so well if it's bright, for example. It's very dependent on your lighting in your room. So that might be better. And
I think looking at the controllers, I mean, it's strange that it's clear. Like the tracking ring is clear.
That's only because it's a prototype. This is only a prototype. In the final one will also be not clear, will not be transparent. That
makes sense.
Yeah, that's what they said yesterday. That's what Kevin said. And what is good to know, actually, for the tracking, Kevin Henderson, the CEO of Pimax, was very confident. So that was the one part where he said, like, this part really works, and he was impressed by his own company's tracking. And it does make probably sense because I also asked them then, did you develop that yourself from scratch? And he said, no. This actually comes from the company that makes the chip, the Snapdragon chip. Yeah, right. Qualcomm.
Oh yeah, do they provide a full tracking solution? Okay,
they provide a tracking solution.
That's
like
very
a base
good.
Solution.
That's great. That's perfect.
That is exactly right. Exactly. And they can still build upon it. If they are not happy with it, they can still improve it. So I'm very confident actually with the tracking from that logic, right? That it's made by So that's pretty cool. So that's what that's what we saw here, and we talked 3 hours about it. And I must tell you, when I watched the Pimax 12K QLED announcement video in October, I was thinking like, wow, this is over the top. They were promising like everything. It's like everything. This could do everything, this device. Like there's no compromises at all. It's like surprising that it's not even making me coffee in the morning. I was just like, it's just like, what? It's just, okay, this is like, they're promising the world. This is what every enthusiast wants, right? And I must honestly tell you, I thought like, no, that's too much. This is impossible. This is crazy. And then they said like, okay, but we will show it to you at CES. And I thought, okay, well, right, then show it at CES. Yeah, and then it didn't happen, right?
It didn't happen,
Yeah, and then I thought like, probably that's not going to happen, the thing. Because, well, in the past, they do overpromise. They like to give bold statements, and then unfortunately, they don't really deliver, or they do deliver, but it's like way years after that, years. Let's just call it how it is, right? It's like this. So with this in mind, I was really happy, about yesterday's event. I had asked Kevin, okay, we didn't see it at CS. Is it possible that you can just show it into the camera? And he said yes, and I was super happy that he came onto the show. That it exists. Exactly, that it exists, that he had it there, that he was confident that they can actually launch it in Q4. It sounded like everything is ready to really do this in Q4. And I must tell you, I am honestly excited now. What are you feeling, Skeeva?
I think this headset should have a unicorn horn on the front. Right? Like, it is the mythical thing that everyone wants in the VR community. Everything about it is so promising. It seems like an impossible task. Now, Kevin is always very much saying, hey, look, guys, we are not designing every piece of this. This technology all exists in pieces from all these different companies, right? You got Tobii doing the eye tracking, you got Qualcomm doing the tracking, you got, a company doing the Y-Gig, all these different things, right? But what we have seen over the past couple of years is everyone is having supply chain issues. No one can get the parts they need for their projects. So now they are relying on many different companies to all get them the parts they need. And if any one of them fails, the headset can't come out, right?
Yeah.
So this is a very interesting challenge that they have in front of them. And I'm sure that these people are telling them, guaranteed, we're going to have these parts for you. Don't even worry about it. But let's see what happens when they need to mass produce this headset. Are they going to be able to get these pieces? We've seen companies that were very, like Deca, they were very confident that they were going to be able to get their parts and they were going to make a headset. And then they just couldn't because things happened in the world. COVID happened and all of these things happened where supply chain issues were a thing. Right now we got companies like Oculus and Meta, and we have Sony and all of these different companies ordering parts, and it's a fight to see who can get the most parts and to see who can. You get companies, I'm sure, that are saying your next year of production for this part all goes to us. Here's a check. Here you go, prepaid. How do you compete with that? How are they going to get?
That's a good point.
I have no idea. And where it's coming from different companies, one failure from one of these companies could completely destroy the production of this headset. So I root for Pimax so much.
Totally. Me too.
Yeah, I want this to be a thing. This is
yeah.
the ultimate headset. I want this in my life.
Let's be honest. Yes. We all want this. Let's be honest about it. Everyone wants it here. And all the people watching this live right now, I'm sure everyone wants it. Yeah. But let's get back to the point. Let me just give you my answer to what you just said. It makes sense what you said. However, yesterday in the show, Kevin said something really interesting, that Pimax is in quite a good position for that supply chain issue, I would call it. Yeah, it is an issue. So like companies like Meta or like Apple, they need to source these panels and these chips in the millions, right? And that is really super tough. That is really, really tough. Then a company like Deca, who has never done something like this, they have to start from zero. And it's really tough for them to actually get into business with those like panel suppliers or what, and then they say, okay, we want to buy 200 pieces or something like this, right? But for Pimax, they are somehow in the sweet spot. They don't need to source millions. They need to source 50,000. So 50,000, it seems like to be a number that is still interesting for the suppliers because they will make some cool profit out of it. And they're not too small like Deca, where they cannot really make sure that they really need those, thousands or what. So they are in a good position. And the great thing is Pimax has been making headsets now for quite a few years. So they know the business. They already have connections. They probably are really confident about saying, hey, you know what? We can get those parts because we have everything absolutely locked down and we have worked with these partners before. So, yeah, that kind of, it felt like a good answer yesterday when I asked him about this. What are your thoughts, Thomas, about this? Do you think they can make it happen?
No, I think realistically that it can't come out this year. I think it's too optimistic. Mm-hmm. I mean, first of all, looking at their history and in general the history of hardware development, it's always a bigger challenge than you expect. I mean, like personally, I was even software, right? Like when I was doing Vermillion, I was doing at like the first 2 months. I made my first video with the paint along, and I was thinking like, I can do this Bob Ross style painting now. I have like this little browser in there. I can ship on Steam in like 4 weeks. And then it was like 2 years later before it was ready. I mean, it's always more challenging, and they are setting the bar for themselves insanely high. And,
that's true.
And on top of the challenges of getting all these parts, even if they're confident it's gonna get, I think we shouldn't be mad if it gets delayed. Like I think it should just be a very realistic expectation that Q4 this year might just be very ambitious. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it does make sense, especially, we know the history of Pimax, where they were also confident before about like delivering the 8KX, and then 2 years later, I got it, or something like this. You're right. I agree with you. So I hope, I root for them that they can make Q4.
I mean, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we all do. It's really, and it's really like that. It's like I hope they can make it, and I think lots of people are rooting for them. We need some competition for Meta. We need some other big player.
But it's not going to be direct competition because it's going to be too expensive.
You're right.
It's like a very niche market.
It is.
Like they have all the top tier parts. It's not going to be a cheap device. Yeah.
It is not. I think it's $2,000. It starts at $2,400, and it's expensive. It's expensive. Yeah, but it makes sense that it's expensive because it can do all these things, right? Like a QLED display, it's a 6K per eye. They have all these cool technologies like eye tracking in it. It has auto IPD adjustment. Yeah, it has everything that we want, that we as enthusiasts want. That's so crazy. Yeah. And I was happy to see it. Yeah, even he didn't turn it on or show it's working. I was happy that it's there.
That's like the thing that worries me, that he didn't turn it on, and we're already April.
Yeah,
he didn't turn it on. I think realistically, like it should already be in mass production now if they want to ship in Q4, and he didn't turn on the device on the big reveal. Like it. Yeah, I think it's too ambitious. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Would be interesting to find out what our audience thinks. Audience, dear people in the chat, what do you think? is Pimax going to ship this in Q4? Please say yes. If you think they are not able to ship this in Q4, say no. And it would just be interesting to get an idea what our viewers think. Yeah. Also, we also talked about then the store, that they're making a new store for this, like a Pimax store for the standalone games, but also actually for PC VR games. So there's some no's and there's some yeses, but I think the no's are in the majority here. Some people say yes. Okay, cool. So there's still some hope in the community.
There's hope.
There's hope. Yeah, there's hope. Cool. Yeah. So there's going to be a store, and in the store there's going to be the standalone games, but there's also going to be like PC VR games, which I thought was interesting. It's some kind of shift that the company would do. It's not only going to be a hardware company, but also a platform company. Interesting, right? What do you think about that, Skeeva?
Well, I think that's where the money is, right? Being able to take cut of software sales is a big deal. Also, it was really interesting to hear his take on doing PC VR games as well, because you think to yourself, well, how do you compete with Steam? But it's an interesting angle because there's to have optimized versions of these games for this headset would be a big deal.
Sense. Yeah.
So exactly. I think it's a great idea. I think they're on the right path. I hope they have the resources to pull this off, because I would love to go in there and just be able to grab versions of the games that are going to work and not have to like spend half an hour, trying to get a game running correctly with the Pimax. So I got my fingers crossed.
Yeah, it makes sense. For example, for Half-Life Alyx, it seems like you have to put in some starting code to make it run right on the Pimax, and these kind of things, it could directly be in that build for that store, right? Yeah. So for you as a developer, what would a store have to offer you so that you put in to make Vermillion for it? Not talking about this store, but in general.
I mean, in general, I'm very open to being on more stores. Like I love like having the options available. I think as a developer though, the big thing would be like a better cut for the developers, because right now the platforms always take 30%, and it's pretty rough. It's not a great deal. Yeah. But as Skeeva said, that's how the companies make back their money, right? Like everyone knows that company like Meta, like they're selling their hardware as cheap as possible to get people into the platform, and then they need the software sales to make it back. So for them, it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, as a developer, it's pretty rough. So that would be like a pretty sweet deal, because like platforms like Epic Games, even though among gamers, the Epic Games Store might be controversial, but they offer like a great deal for developers with like a 12% cut compared to 30%,
that's much better.
Right?
That's
so yeah, I mean, like a developer-friendly cut would be like a big thing. Yeah.
So what would be the sweet spot, in your opinion, for the cut? 20%, or should it be as good as the deal from Epic Games?
I mean, the Epic Games deal is amazing, right? Yeah. But I don't know what's realistic for like Pimax. And to be honest, like I'm not sure if they would be able to offer this kind of deal, even if like especially the hardware is already expensive.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough. But yeah, I mean, the Epic Games is pretty sweet. But of course, they are also printing money with Fortnite, so maybe they don't even need the money
for them. They don't care about it. They're good.
Like,
they're good.
Yeah.
Even better than MRTV. So they make a lot of money.
Then again, Valve is also printing money, and they're not.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. So it's super interesting that they are following this new business model. I think it makes so much sense that they're going away from this pure hardware company. Absolutely, because it's very tough to sell enough hardware in order to thrive financially. So that's why it does make sense that they want to build that store, and that this is their new strategy. And that also plays in that crazy upgrade plan that they're offering. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Thomas. So they have this crazy upgrade plan or trade-in plan. If you have ever in your life bought a Pimax headset and you still have it physically with you, and you can prove that you bought it, you still have the receipt, you can actually send it back to Pimax and that price of that Pimax headset, the original price that you paid, even if you were on Kickstarter, they are going to put it onto that device. You're going to get a rebate for the Pimax 12K QLED. Crazy or not? What do you think about that?
I mean, that's absolutely crazy. Like,
yeah, right?
how are they even? How is this financially sound? What are they going to do with the old headsets?
That was my question. I couldn't understand it. I thought, like, what? How is that possible from a financial standpoint? How can you still exist as a company? Isn't that like I was like blown away.
I got to tell you, this is the thing that makes me question all of it, because this is a very wacky decision. No, I can't think of a company that's ever done this. Imagine if you went out and you bought like a Toyota, and like 10 years later you can go get the value of that car that when you paid for it originally, and put it towards a new one. That doesn't make any sense. No one can profit that way. The amount of people they have to sell these headsets to, they need to expand that. This isn't a sustainable business model. I look, I don't know their numbers. I haven't seen their books, but you don't see companies do this because it doesn't make any sense.
It feels like it's too good to be true, right? Just like the headset. It's like, what?
It doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah. But then also again, what Kevin said, I told him, like, wow, how is that viable financially? How you need to make money, right? This can't be cheap, this headset. So actually he said, like, you know what? We want to get as many people into our platform, because also for the old headsets, also for the 8KX, they will also operate then with that new Pimax software, which has this store. Right, so they simply want to get as many people as possible into that Pimax store, into that Pimax environment, and make them buy the game. So this is a very, very super aggressive way to make people, get the 8KX now or get the 5K Plus. And actually, I know from my circle of friends that there are some people who are now buying an 8KX. Because of yesterday's show. You know who you are if you're listening to this. You bought an 8KX. So there are people who actually who are getting into Pimax now because of that deal. And I just hope for Pimax that this is going to happen. Because if this is not going to happen for some reason, I think then Pimax, it's over. What are your thoughts about that?
Done. That would be the end of it. All the credibility would go out the window. But this is interesting. I feel like being aggressive to get people on your platform to sell more software, to make more money, and to become a larger stake in VR as a whole is very smart. But at the same time, you got to be able to pay your employees. If you can't pay your bills, what are you going to do, right?
I mean, that's a strategy that Facebook can do, and they can do it because they're like one of the biggest tech companies in the world, and they're printing money with the ad business. They can do this. But they have like this huge ad business. So, I mean, where is Pimax going to be able to finance this kind of aggressive strategy?
This is weird.
Wow. Yeah. Straight up. I don't know. Probably they do have enough money. They did get the money infusion that we don't know about, or before some financial investment rounds. I don't know. Or
they've been acquired by Meta.
Yeah, right. Or by Nvidia. That would make sense in my opinion. I still think that would be
really.
I think, in my opinion, that would be a great buy for Nvidia, since they kind of co-work well together. Since we all need new 4090s to make something like Pimax happen. Who knows? Yeah. Anyway, I think that would make sense. But who knows? Probably they did the maths before that. I mean, they must have made the math that this is some kind of a viable decision, that the cost per new customer is worth it for them. But it just feels like too crazy.
But realistically, like, how many games does a user buy every year? Like on average, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 games.
Yeah.
But the cost of like the single 8KX, like how much does an 8KX cost? Like 1,200 or something?
1,300 or something like that.
I mean, it's gonna take a couple of years, and their cut is only 30% probably, right? I mean,
yeah.
I don't see it.
I also right now don't see it. Or they have this crazy, wonderful vision with a customer lifetime value of definitely more than $2,000 if they stay on the Pimax platform forever. Probably they have a customer lifetime value of that. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Anyways, I will definitely be buying this headset no matter what. I'm going to do anything I can to get this as quickly as possible because this headset just seems ridiculous.
All of us,
Yeah.
I mean,
but
totally,
at the same time, this is the thing that makes me not have faith in their business decisions.
Yeah.
So,
okay, I get it. It feels too good to be true. It feels, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy is the right word, I think. Or nuts.
Yeah,
but I root for them to work.
Super curious, yeah.
I root for them that it works, and I can tell it works in terms of I see people around me buying 8KXs now.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, look, a lot of people have a lot of negative things to say about Pimax, and I'm sitting here saying some negative things too. But ultimately, what this comes down to is this is a company that's extremely passionate about VR.
Yeah, they are.
They want to give us what we want. We often ask why these companies don't listen to us and just say, well, why don't you just give us what we want? These guys are trying, right?
Yeah,
so mad
trying.
Exactly. Here it is. I want that thing here.
Yeah.
I want it, really. They are going to make, hopefully, that thing that I want as a VR enthusiast. And we are all VR enthusiasts. And I simply would like to ask now into the chat here right now, who of you wants the Pimax 12K QLED? Like, be honest. Do you want it? Please say yes. And if you don't want it, say no. I simply want to see that because my feeling is we as a VR enthusiast, like doing this show and watching that show, it seems like it's something that people simply want, right? What are you feeling? Yeah, yes. Yeah, Jacob Cook wants it. Jimmy Baker wants it. Are there some people who don't want it? Strange people.
You know, the PC you have to own to drive this too. If you're going to use it for a PC VR headset and to really drive every bit of performance out of this thing, full resolution, full field of view, you're going to have a sick PC too, right? So you're going to spend $2,400 minimum on this. That's the starting price, but you're going to want the full body tracking thing. You're going to want all the different add-ons. So let's say we can maybe spend $3,000 on this, and then you're going to need like a $4,000 PC to drive this thing to its max performance. So it's going to take a certain kind of person, a very someone with a big bank account a lot of people to make this work. And I really, really hope it does. But you're going to have some money. So.
It's going to be the people who have four PCs to run their Tilt 5s. They're going to be the ones buying this headset.
Exactly.
Yeah. But honestly, that's also one thing that I found pretty noteworthy in yesterday's event. We all thought like, hey, we need a 4090, 5090 for that to really use it, right? But then actually, Kevin said like, no, he gets the same FPS out of his 12K as he gets out of his 8KX. And the reason for that is the eye tracking. That they use this together with the eye tracking, they have these amazing technologies like foveated transport and dynamic foveated rendering and other things that simply reduces the amount of data that has to travel on that cable. And therefore, he does get good frame rates, just like with his 8KX on a 3080, 3090. And I think that was really noteworthy, actually. So, yeah, I do think that puts quite a lot of people at ease because we all thought, like, hey, are you kidding me? We need a GPU from the future to make this happen. But this gave me confidence.
That's a big deal. So I did a demo once of the Pico Neo 2i, I believe it was, or the 3i. I think it was the 2i. And you go into this experience and it shows a frame rate that you're getting as it's rendering the entire thing. And then they flip a switch and they turn on dynamic foveated rendering. You don't see the difference at all because your peripheral vision is blurry. It just is. And as you're looking at things, it's instantly kicking up the rendering to full resolution that it can handle right in that one little spot. And then all of a sudden the frame rate goes through the roof. But here's the deal. We had a company like Sony, right? That's putting out the PSVR 2. This company has unlimited resources. They have money coming out of their ears. and they couldn't make their dynamic foveated rendering work properly, and they had to contract Tobii to come in because they have experience doing this to make it run right.
Yeah.
How is Pimax able to do this? Maybe they have the most intelligent
Tobii,
and unreal
because
engineers on the planet.
They can, because this is done together with Tobii. The eye tracking comes from Tobii and also other things. So they've been working very closely with Tobii. Yeah, absolutely. I must honestly tell you, I am really hopeful. I was not hopeful before, really. I also thought that this can't be true. But honestly, I am hopeful. I think there is something going on. And I do think they have the potential to hit it out of the ballpark. If everything comes together, obviously, and we don't have to wait for another 2 years, I do think they have something that we want. And that it might be amazing. Oh, I hope so. Probably it's wishful thinking right now. But I do have that hope and feeling even. Really, I must say, I had more confidence after yesterday's event, after yesterday's talk, that this is actually going to come to fruition. You too, right, Skeeva?
Yeah,
after the talk?
I do too. Yep.
Wow.
You know, Kevin's honestly a pretty good dude.
He is, yes.
You know, I've spent some time with him. I've, gone to dinner with him and done some things, and he's a really good guy, and he's super passionate about the industry, and he
totally
wants this stuff to come out and be successful, and he wants to push this medium forward. He's one of us. Do you know what I mean?
So, exactly.
Like, he wants VR to be amazing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I'm really, really rooting for them, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt until they prove me wrong, and hopefully they don't. So
totally agreed.
An important note about the dynamic foveated rendering is that it would have to be done on the game's side, right? So the game needs to implement it. So that's a big caveat there. It's not a magic bullet that they can do.
Yeah, right.
Like the game is doing the rendering, right? It gets the information of where the eye is looking, but the game is saying, okay, I need to render at this resolution here and the rest on a lower resolution.
Right.
So if a game is not going to be supporting this, then it's not going to run at full resolution.
You're right.
We're lucky that all of these other headsets are now implementing eye tracking. So I think we're going to see a big push.
We want it on the driver level.
Yeah. I mean, we got Meta's going to be doing it, right?
Yeah.
PlayStation's doing it. So we're going to see, this is going to be something that's going to become a new standard. And I think developers will adopt it because now there's headsets that use it, and it's not just the few.
Ideally, we want to have this on the driver level, done by NVIDIA, so that nobody has to think about it. And it's going to happen at one point. But this other technology, this foveated transport thing, sadly, it's Bradley. You have to make a video about it. What it is. So so this works already on the driver level. So this is going to work, and it's also like a technology that Tobii brings to the picture. It's called Tobii Spotlight, and this will work, and therefore they can reduce the data that has to be sent quite a bit. So I'm kind of hopeful that this is going to be really interesting. Wow. And one thing I would add to when we were talking about Kevin, and that's he's a very nice dude. I totally agree with this. And sometimes I just feel sad for him because he has to stand up for the questionable business decisions that Pimax does in China. You know what I mean? Like it's not him that makes some decisions. Like probably this upgrade plan. It's like, but he has to stand up for it, and he has to sell it to the Western world. And the people who make the decision in China, that's how I imagine it to be. They just tell them, okay, here, do it like this. So so that's the thing, probably. I'm just guessing. I don't know if it's really like that. Anyways.
Being the spokesperson in the face of a company is not easy because your reputation gets harmed when your company does something that you had no control over.
Exactly. So therefore, again, kudos to Kevin Henderson to come to MRTV where he knows I am just asking the tough questions for 3 hours, that he sits there and does it. He doesn't have to be there. He doesn't have to come to MRTV to the show, right? So to all these like pathetic haters who were commenting something negative under the video, like just just fuck off. You're ridiculous. Right? You would never, those guys would never have what it takes to come on my show. They would never dare it. And he was there for 3 hours, defending this device. And yeah, I think he did a great job.
And he even mentioned that not everyone at the company was a fan of him coming on and doing this. So it takes some guts. It takes some guts to get up and stand up and tell people, even though there's a lot of people out there that just don't believe him.
But exactly. Yeah. So therefore, again, Kevin, if you're watching this, thumbs up. Thanks for coming to the show. It was absolutely amazing. And I do think that it actually put lots of confidence back to us enthusiasts, to many enthusiasts who are excited about the device. So I think, well done. Well done. Yeah, but Thomas, we're not finished yet telling you about the crazy
more?
Things. There's even more.
It never ends.
Yeah, it never ends. So we told you about this here, this WiGig module, right? This WiGig antenna. It is not only the WiGig base station. Inside is also a computer that is as powerful as the Steam Deck, and it's going to send games to the device wirelessly.
No way.
Yeah, that was my reaction.
So this is, again, sadly, as Bradley has been going on about this like hybrid rendering where part of it's being rendered on the headset and part of it's rendered
if
on
it's
the
really
PC.
if it's really working like this, no idea. But
okay.
Yeah, but this thing, it has some chips and it will do some rendering. If you want, you can then play more demanding games in this kind of standalone mode without a PC. What are your thoughts about that?
Honestly, I'm thinking it's overcomplicating it, because if you're a person who is going to buy a 2,400 plus euro or dollar headset, you're going to have a pretty beefy gaming PC sitting there.
Agreed. Yeah.
So why don't you just plug in your WiGig antenna into your 1490?
You can
instead of doing it standalone.
They have two versions. You don't have to get this. The probably is going to cost like around $500 or what, like a console, he said. So there's another version which only has the antenna. You don't have to get that Pimax station or what, right? So yeah. Anyways, it's everything is so ambitious, right? It's so ambitious. It's
I think
crazy.
It's one step at a time, right? The headset alone is crazy enough. You don't need to make a separate PC for it, in my opinion.
I think they're going to see serious success in the location-based VR sector as well. If this thing is really going to do everything they say, and you can buy this cheap little Dyson box, right, that kind of goes with it. This is very compelling, even for businesses. Because it's an expensive headset, and if they can do the things that it says it's going to do, I think they're going to see some success in all different kinds of parts of this business, not just consumer, but also business. So,
right, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
it is. Oh man, that really surprised me. Yes, in yesterday's stream, I was asking Kevin, like, okay, you also talked about some kind of Pimax station before, some kind of standalone PC thing that would kind of like send data to it. Is that still a thing? And then Kevin said, like, yeah, I sent it to you in the pictures. I said, no, you did not. Yeah, it's there. It's this thing. Like, what? That was a really funny moment.
And they didn't release any specs for what's in that.
No, we don't know. We don't know. So, yeah. So very interesting. That was a really, really interesting show. So if you haven't watched it yet out there, it's like 3 hours, but I put timestamps now, so you can totally jump to the part that interests you. It's cool. It is cool. Yeah, so I am really hopeful about this. It gave me confidence, this whole talk. I do root for them, like lots of us. They do have to prove themselves. And I also, just like you guys, I am not so confident about the viability of that business decision about that upgrade. That crazy trade-in part, it just blows my mind how they can financially do that. But I root for them. I do root for them, really. All the best for Pimax. Right? Yeah, I think that's what we can do. We root for them. So simply show it to us. Yes, we want to see it. Yeah, and I do think that is a good end for a 2 hours and 48 minutes show. So thank you so much, Skeeva and Thomas. It was amazing to talk to you again, Skeeva. Always so nice to meet you. Thomas, it's so nice to get to know you. for sure we're going to meet each other sometime in the future. And simply amazing that you were here. Yeah, how was it for you to be on the show? You've done so many podcasts now, right? Already, or not?
No, like the first proper podcast would be this one. Yeah. So I don't even have a microphone. Sound like a toaster mic. My apologies to everyone listening to this. I'm very sorry. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure being on here, talking with you guys. And perfect. Yeah, I mean, it's been great.
Great. And Skeeva, you also enjoyed it again?
Oh, I loved it, man. I love hanging out with you and your guests and just talking VR. This is what I love. And I love your channel and the quality of everything, man, and what you bring to the community. Man. So it's an honor to be here. And I thank you for having me.
Perfect, man. Thanks. And I'm also looking forward again to be a guest sometime again in your show, and you and Alex's show, right? Between Realities. It's also just so amazing, so many great guests, and wow, it's fantastic that VR enthusiasts or VR fans have the choice to watch so many cool content on YouTube and so on, right? Yeah, really. There's
a lot of good stuff out there.
Lots of good stuff going on. Yeah, so if you out there, if you enjoyed that, give it a thumbs up now. For all of you who are watching this live, do leave a comment. That's good for the algorithm so that YouTube will tell more people to have a look at this podcast. And the best thing would be get out your iDevice, open the podcast app, which is pre-installed, find the Next Dimension podcast, and do leave us a 5-star review. That would really absolutely help us to spread the word about this show. And that is everything that we got for today. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we're going to see each other next week. Until then, bye-bye. Yeah, cool. We are still live right now. We do this little cool down for a minute or two. Yep, was amazing. Was really amazing. Was cool. And as always, I forget the time. Because if you speak with some other people who are so fascinated about that, like yourself, about VR, then you just forget the time, right?
It's hard. It's hard to keep this stuff in a reasonable time. You just want to talk about it forever.
It's never reasonable. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so many things. Like, wow, GDC, everything was so interesting that you talked about. And then Vermillion. Wow, probably you could have gone on and on, Thomas, right, to talk even more about all. So many things. The different brush strokes. Oh my God. I will get more into it. And I think you should do more of those tutorials.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to do more tutorials. Yeah, definitely. It's very fun to do as well. And yeah, it's also using the Ready Player Me avatar, which has some lip syncing issues, which people are always like dissing, like it looks like I'm the fucking Joker. But I mean, it's really fun to do. And I'm also really enjoying just having this feeling of people coming in, showing their first painting on Discord, and it's like, oh, I just learned to do this with you, and it's like, yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, really cool.
I'm excited. Cool. I'm so excited to try this. I've never really had any interest in trying different, painting games like King Spray and all those different games, but I am genuinely curious about this. I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah,
not just from you guys, but from the community in general. So I'm super excited to try it.
Try it. You will enjoy it. Okay, that's everything. Don't forget the thumbs up, and see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.